2,300 people arrested for not loving Israel hard enough since the student-led protests began on college campuses. What is to be done? Anti-Semitism bill equates anti-Israel to anti-Semitism. Second Kendrick Drake just hit the CN Tower. Walking Dead finale later. Get in now. I'm doing it, fam. I'm doing it. I'm doing the Walking Dead finale later. No matter what, fam. Yes, I promise. I promise. Unless like something insane happens, which I don't think that it will. Nuclear war comes and we're Walking Dead anyways. The IG story you posted yesterday of a Georgian girl at the protest has led to phrenology discussions on Twitter to evaluate the degree of her whiteness, proving once again that being American is a brain disease. Oh, the white girl or the brown girl? Because I posted two different girls over the course of the past 24 hours where like I posted a white girl who was doing her makeup, which was a badass photo in general, doing her makeup, like, you know, fixing up her lipstick on the reflection of a police reflection of a police shield, right? And then the day today I also posted another girl, like very obviously like a brown girl, getting bullied and yelled at by a bunch of frat bros in the South. Both are iconic photos, I think, in different ways. Like one is an epic photo, and then the other one is also like pretty. It's just like a phenomenal representation of what these protests represent. It also kind of shows you like a little bit like white supremacy as well. Bro, you can't just post girls without their consent. What the fuck? No, these are at protests, chatter. Like these are people in public. Can't believe Kendrick body shamed Drake like you body shame Zionists and neo-Nazis. I assume you saw the frat bros making monkey noises in face of a black woman too, right? Yeah. Where did you post the pics? On my Instagram story. I always post them on my Instagram story. Anyway, Gooner Gate has ended. Oh no. What does this mean? At Stellar Blade retweeting Kotaku's post out about Alphys is not a win. This guy is never gonna figure it out. It's not happening. Oh, also, U.S. Congressman Henry Cuellar and his wife charged with bribery, unlawful foreign influence, and money laundering schemes. Congressman allegedly accepted $600,000 in bribes from two foreign entities in exchange for official acts of a member in Congress. We knew this already, and Nancy Pelosi knew this already, and everyone in his orbit knew this already. That's why the fucking feds came down and did a sweep. The feds did a sweep, literally, on Henry Cuellar's entire fucking house and entire existence, and yet Nancy Pelosi and the entire Democratic Party basically fucking lend their support to the most right-wing piece of shit in Texas, in an area, only to barely fucking make it, only for him to barely defeat Jessica Cisneros, who is a young Latina who used to fucking intern with this dipshit, but because she is a socialist, because she is a progressive, because she is actually, brilliant and wonderful and smart and thoughtful, that Henry Cuellar basically won by like a couple fucking votes with the entire support of the Democratic Party, despite the fact that Henry Cuellar literally is anti-choice. Henry Cuellar is the only pro-life Democrat. So cool that the Democratic Party knew about this. The feds did a sweep and still chose to lend their support to the most right-wing Democrat who is anti-choice, instead of her young progressive opponent who lost by 300 votes. This guy's got to be 40. Who reads as they type? Chat, I'm reading as I type for you to hear what I'm saying. What do you mean? Bro, you don't understand the DNC's vision? Bro, you don't get it. Do you know about Project 2025? We're doing that shit now. We decided we should actually do it instead of the fucking Republicans. And like, we just decided we have to actually assume all of the positions that the Republican Party's been advocating for, because those are sick. We decided that we actually despise gay people and we actually despise women and we don't actually want them to get abortions. That's lame as hell. Abortions, no thank you. That's called baby murder. I'm a Democrat and I've decided that that is baby murder, and I'm going to keep pushing for people who also say that. Don't say you're not like them. No, I'm the Democratic Party, dude. What the fuck are you talking about? Hello. Instead of his young progressive opponent. Anyway, schools in PA protesting deadly hate crime. Stop sending me Facebook reels, man. It's making me feel even older than I actually am. What the fuck? I'm already 32. I don't want to feel like I'm 58. It is wild to me. Facebook reels. I didn't even know that Facebook had reels, bro. Every week, a Latino chatter goes, as a Latino, I sincerely apologize for the sorry existence of insert the most Nazi right-wing Latino man name here. He does not represent us. Bro, I know. Okay? Flexicans, you do not need to defend your honor on this broadcast. This is a Flexican broadcast. It's a Swagapino broadcast. We are always in support of our Chicanos, in support of our Flexicans, in support of all the Latinx community, okay? Except for Cubans over the age of like 40 living in the Miami area. Git. I'm buradayım. All I'm saying is if you're living in Miami and you're Cuban and you're like 40 years old, you probably believe everything, the opposite of everything I believe, okay? Statistically speaking, there's a very, very high likelihood. Anyway, SJP UCR just announced the dissolution of their encampment demands have been negotiated and met agreeably. UCR is now the first UC campus to meet its goals successfully. Incredibly important.
Attention all ladies, is anyone possibly free to come round and split a bottle of red wine with your boy? I heard they say the red wine goes straight to the quit. Is that true?
You condemn that.
What the fuck was that, bro? Carter has a hit tweet and just starts acting brand new in the chat. That's like a ban-worthy. That is a ban-worthy Hoscord level TikTok that you just sent me. That's like the fucking Starbucks cake pop girl level. What the fuck? Turkey cuts off all trade with Israel. Yeah. I forgot to talk about that yesterday because it was it's not really real. Once that someone referred to me as a DIY Filipino for being Mexican/Korean. Who else is low-key Filipino? The entire global Latina belt is low-key Filipino. There is a convergence. This is how it works. Technically. On the one side of the planet, you have this thing called Latina girls that look like they're Asian. And on the other side of the planet, you have Pinoy gang, which comprises the entirety of the global Latina belt, the global South. Yeah. Vietnamese are also Latino, therefore also Filipino, 100%. Have you ever seen those TikToks of the Vietnamese, the Viet barbershops, bro? Those dudes are cholos, straight up. It's crazy. I've never seen nothing like it. I don't even know how it happened like this. I don't know how the fuck it happened. But straight up. It's called a joke, dear Lord. Yeah. What are Turks? Turks are all over the place. I saw a TikTok about Moroccans being like race benders. Like depending on what they're doing and depending on what they're saying, like talking to a black person, they're like, "Oh, I'm from Africa." Talking to an Arab, they're like, "I'm Arab." Talking to a white person, they're like, "I'm white." Turks are everything. You know what I mean? Just everything. There's a little bit of Turk in everybody. Tito's Yugoslavia was obsessed with Mexican music. I love that. Thank you, Themasius, for the playlist. Yeah, we'll start on the crackdowns. As you guys know, I don't know if you watched it or not, but I had like a 3-hour conversation with Asmongold yesterday. I don't know why my editors have not uploaded it yet. I don't know what's going on there. I feel like we just got lapped up again by, I suspect, the Hasanabi Clips Industrial Complex. Editors asleep at the wheel. Okay. Editors asleep at the wheel. We are letting Hasanabi Productions get away with posting. Look at this. This man got 107,000 views on this video. The Kendrick Lamar situation is wild in 15 hours. Hassan speaks to Asmongold on campus protest 16 hours ago, 48K views. This man is doing more work torturing your editors. Do you get mad when the Hasanabi Complex beats you with these views? Not really. I don't really give a shit. The only thing is, like, if I have something that I want to upload myself, and then like, he even posted the charity collab and got like 200K views. What charity collab? Isn't the term Latinx a CIA psyop? No, I only say it as a joke. I don't really give a shit. No, I don't. I have never in my entire life. I've never in my entire life ever used it seriously. I do, however, feel kind of weird whenever I say Latina. I feel like I'm too white. Latino, when I say Latino, is like across the board, you know, for everybody, is like the plural. That makes more sense. But when I say Latina, I feel like the whiteness comes out. Does that make sense? What about Chicano and Chicana? I don't think this is the first time I said Chicana. Why are you saying it like that though? I don't know, man. I don't know. But like, you notice it too, right? When I say Latino, it makes sense. When I say Latina, it sounds like a fucking frat boy looking for like a porn category. You know what I mean? I don't know why. It just comes out of my mouth like that. I don't know how to like tongue twist it in a way that it doesn't seem like I'm Drake saying the N-word with a hard R for some reason. It feels weird. Latina. That's what I got to do. Latina. Latino is fine. I say Latino all the time. And it sounds perfectly normal when I say it. I don't know what it is. But I say Latina. See? I couldn't do it. Latina. Latiner. Anyway. Where the fuck was I at? Okay. Let's get started. Shouts out to Carter. Look at this. These brave students will be remembered on the right side of history. It's true. Police unmasked low-life UCLA person for the world to see. These guys are so funny. Like, they're just watching Fox News, angry as hell, excited at the prospect of a 18-year-old being like doxxed. I thought y'all love free speech. What the fuck's going on, man? Oh man. Turns out not so much. Turns out free speech only when it's like someone being actually free speech only pertains to people I agree with, actually. And maybe like people that are on my side of the political spectrum, as far right as possible. Maybe they're saying stuff that I think is unconscionable, but at least they're on the right side, you know? She pretty cool, she replied. Wait, what? She got straight A's, moisturized, thriving, fundamentally unbothered, success in life guaranteed. I would know. Anyway, we'll be... What? Okay. Crazy how these piglets will remember this as the peak of their career. Yeah, I agree. Proof God exists and doesn't like being talked to. What? Okay. Katara is back. Please don't send me the George Santos Katara shit. I think it's cringe. I'm putting a fucking hard I'm putting a hard blacklist on George Santos related content unless it's actually good, unless it's actually important to pay attention to. Why? Because I feel like he's cringe. I feel like he's washed. I feel like he knows he's washed. He knows he's cringe, and is basically trying to get
Second thought.
attention. Is the U.S. headed towards fascism? The answer is yes. The police didn't do this for the Proud Boys and the Nazis they arrested. That's a great point. Well, part of the reason why they don't do that for the Proud Boys or the Nazis and the Patriot Prayer when they arrest them is because it would be really unwise for them to unmask their comrades, right? Like they're already there. They're already there on both sides of the spectrum. They agree on everything, and it would be really lame if they unmasked their own fucking Nazi friends. You know what I mean? Like it would be an awkward moment at the water cooler the next day. You're like, Hank, why the fuck did you take my mask off, brother? Like, we talked about this, right? That kind of situation. Why is a more perfect union being a hyperfixated keyboard warrior? What are you talking about? Who's going to get beers with them if they unmask them? What is this? An Israeli body previously classified hostage, Eliakim Libman, discovered in grave of October 7 victim. Eliakim Libman was a security guard at the Nova Music Festival. During the course of October 7, he rescued several people from the massacre. Wait, how the fuck did that happen? Bro, what the fuck were they doing at Israel on October 8? Wait, I don't get it. He rescued several people. IDF confirmed discovery saying the IDF and National Institute of Forensic Medication has conducted an investigation. Bro, this is inside of Israel, chat. You need to understand something. This is literally inside of Israel. So as in like they did a phenomenally bad job at forensics and also simultaneously a phenomenally bad job at like investigation and even like proper maintenance of the bodies that is respectful to the fucking victims. What are they fucking doing over there? Like I would lose my goddamn mind. Like, this doesn't make any sense. At the beginning of the war, it was initially suspected that Libman was not a hostage after no indication of abduction was found. After that, a body part of his was found in the area that raised the possibility that he was not kidnapped but buried with another victim from the Nova Party massacre. Dude. Zakah, what the fuck are they doing? They need to disband that organization in its entirety. Okay? Like, there have been, if you're not following Israeli news, you are probably unfamiliar with what the fuck's going on here. But Zakah is like one of the major organizations. It's supposed to be like a charity, right? Tasked with, it's supposed to be a charity tasked with taking care of like victims of natural disasters or whatnot. And they were very active after October 7 as well. Comprised a lot of like of religious Jewish people that are supposed to follow the Jewish practice of the Jewish practice of like taking care of the bodies, right? Because there's a bunch of rules and stuff. The problem is Zakah basically took over the forensics side and like mishandled a shit ton of the bodies, mishandled the forensics, did atrocity propaganda, literally fucking took bodies out of the body bags they were in to place them in Zakah body bags, like basically working and using October 7 as a way to like farm donations, which they got a shit ton of. They weren't trained properly. And this became a major problem internally in Israel because like, yeah, everyone is like, yeah, of course, everyone in Israel is like on board with, you know, giving the Palestinians the hell they deserve or whatever. But like simultaneously, they're like, do your fucking job. You know what I mean? These are my friends. These are my family members that you're not taking a proper care of their bodies. Like when your goal is to, when your job, the organization's job is to specifically take care of their bodies while following like the rules of Judaism. And they basically did ads for themselves instead of working round the clock when it mattered the most. And I think that this will also This feels like it's another moment of feels like another moment of like, what the fuck were they doing? Call me cringe. This guy's got to be 40. Also, I have a very redundant question, and maybe you'll get to it, but it's crazy to believe that the ICC really can't do anything to the U.S. and its officials, along with Israeli officials. What can realistically happen? We'll talk about that. Seems only people Netanyahu government likes killing more than Palestinians is leftist Israelis. No, this isn't a leftist Israeli or anything. This is just a regular old Israeli that the government totally fucked up in not handling their body properly, because they delegated the responsibility to an organization that was too busy caring about their own interest and like doing ads and stuff, and also covering atrocity, like creating atrocity propaganda when many atrocities already had existed. Yeah, here's another part. If I recall correctly, they also fucked up any evidence of actual potential sexual assault. So if it happened, they are the reason we wouldn't have evidence. Yeah, they're not forensic specialists, and their people were not trained. So, you know, they fucked up big time and have cooked a lot of the investigations that should have been conducted. Anyway, are you going to cover Turkey divesting? Yes. It's not a real divestment. Like, the top of the hour ad break is a real 3-minute ad break that you will see, right? If you're not subscribed. For $5 or for free with the Twitch Prime by connecting your Amazon Prime account to your Twitch account, where you get one free Prime subscription a month using on your favorite broadcaster. Hopefully that's me, right? You can also get gifted a sub. Hey, Raiders, thank you for the raid. Central Committee, Michael from Pennsylvania. Hope you had a good stream, brother. Here's the 3-minute outbreak now. See, I don't even mind hitting the 3-minute outbreak after a Central Committee raid, because they're all already fucking subscribed here. They won't see the ads, but you will. Is his birthday? Oh shit! Happy birthday! Happy birthday, old man. Bernie Sanders posted a video talking about the protests. Yeah, I saw. You know what? Let's start with Bernie. He had some good fucking takes on this issue. Okay, I suspect he'll have some good fucking takes on this issue, regardless of the fact that we are currently in a post October 7th situation with Bernie Sanders. Let's see what he had to say.
Well, here it goes. I support the First Amendment of the United States Constitution.
Don't say it, Bernie. That's anti-Semitic, dude. Chill. Bernie, stop. Don't do it, Bernie.
What it says, quote, Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech or of the press, or the right of the people peaceably to assemble and to petition the government for a redress of grievances, end of quote. Let us be clear. Protests and demonstrations have played an enormously important and positive role in modern American history. Without protests led by Dr. King and others, we would not have made progress in eliminating segregation in America and combating racism. Without protests, women in America would still be second-class citizens.
Yeah, but okay, but like, they shouldn't have been disruptive. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's like women want to be able to vote, but it's like, why are they being so disruptive? Like, I'm in support of women being able to vote, but like, don't be so disruptive about it. You know what I mean? Like, dissent is fine as long as it doesn't cause disorder. Same with the civil rights movement. It's like, I agree with black people. Sure, they should be able to drink from the same water fountain as white people, and, you know, desegregate the schools and create a racial jungle, I guess, in the words that Joe Brandon used at the time. But like, don't be disruptive. You know what I mean? Like, why are you being disruptive? Don't be disruptive, right? Like, that's what I care about the most, I think. The disruption. Like, black people should be sitting at home, protesting from home, not going to bus stations and engaging in like boycotts and engaging in sit-ins at a restaurant. You know what I mean?
Unable to control their own bodies or have equal opportunities in the workforce. Without protests, many of our gay brothers and sisters would still be hiding their sexual identity. Today, on college campuses all over this country, students are exercising their constitutional right to protest. They are standing in opposition to American policy, which is providing billions of dollars for Netanyahu's right-wing extremist Israeli government's war against the Palestinian people. A war which has already killed 33,000 Palestinians and injured 77,000 more, 2/3 of whom are women and children. A war which has destroyed or damaged more than half of the housing in Gaza. A war which has essentially annihilated the healthcare system in Gaza. A war which has done incredible damage to the civilian infrastructure in Gaza, electricity, clean water, and sewage. A war which has bombed every one of the 13 universities in Gaza and left hundreds of thousands of children without schooling. In my view, demonstrations must...
I mean, I wouldn't call it a war, Bernardo, but, you know, I'd call it a genocide, but, you know, otherwise copied their flow.
Hey, listen, I agree with the protesters as much as the next guy, but they shouldn't be disorderly about, of course, Black Lives Matter, but property damage, that is too...
You think this is the first time I've made this joke? Like, you think like I saw this video and that's where I arrived at the, you know, you shouldn't be disruptive? Sometimes I want to die in a video game. Guys, I've been making this same exact joke, like that exact same joke with the exact same terms in the exact same sarcastic tone for the past 10 years, okay? You might be new here, but it's like definitely one of the fundamental principles that I believe in and defend. You know, much love to the Zoomer TikTokers and stuff like that, but, you know, come on now. That's why you can see it in my videos from like 10 years ago, 5, 6, 7 years ago, 8 years ago. Convo with Hazel Wen.
Be nonviolent. Not only is that the right thing to do, it is the...
Yeah. Oh, by the way, the outside agitators narrative keeps collapsing. So they've decided that it's just they're all terrorists, like the students are terrorists. The NYPD confirms that 99% of arrests at NYU were indeed students, not outside agitators. The sad reality is that our schools are producing monsters, and it's now our job to slay them. Simple as that. Says Councilwoman Vicky Palladino. Like, what are we doing here, bro? What are we doing? We have to kill the students. We have to slay these fucking students. It's getting more and more hysterical by the moment. Sorry, we have no choice. You have to die. Why? Well, because you don't think it's awesome that our tax dollars and our tuition money is going to fund and facilitate an apartheid that has killed tens of thousands of babies. You don't want to participate in the baby murder? Sorry, you have to die. Think they'll walk back their statements about none of the protesters were students? No, dude, of course they won't. And no one will fucking hold them to account. Here is the problem. The actual outside agitators are the counter protesters, okay? They're like 70 fucking years old. Their median age is like 58, okay? The outside agitators are the police. The outside agitators are literally the media. Morning Joe is an outside agitator demanding that police violence happen at these college campuses for peacefully demonstrating. And they can't find anything that actually goes against that narrative. The reality of the matter is, even if they weren't fucking peaceful, I would still be on board with the movement and the momentum. It would make it much harder for me to defend it to a bunch of fucking liberals who literally refuse to get on board with a movement that they would otherwise agree with, as long as it's like fucking things up a little bit. But they're not even doing that. They're not even doing that. The students are being perfect optically by liberal standards. They're perfect victims. And yet people are still lying about them. And at a certain point, people are going to start being like, okay, well, what the fuck am I doing here? That's what's incredibly frustrating about this entire process, is that like these students have literally been perfect. Damn near perfect, which is unimaginable. I've never seen it in any organized movement ever. There's always random people who get fucking passionate and say some insane shit, and then the media swarms them usually and makes it seem like this is what the values of the movement are. Actually, they work to bastardize the entirety of the movement. Who cares about the 60s? You break the law, you get arrested. You should care, because the reason why you're saying that is because you would be saying that back then as well. Who cares about the 60s? Well, I'm showing this to you because guess what? This was also civil disobedience. And it was presented in the exact same way in the media. And of course, the majority opinion on that in that very moment was identical. Like, oh, well, why are they doing sit-ins? I agree with you, but also at the same time, two wrongs don't make a right. Wait, what? Brother, if you're going to come in 2024 into this chat and think that you're going to get away with saying that like the civil disobedience during the civil rights movement was a wrong, I don't know what to tell you. The reason why I bring this up is because I think, this is the bare minimum. I think that you have like some semblance of humanity, right? Like it's me being charitable to people. I'm saying if one group breaks the law doesn't mean another can. Yeah, no, I always suspect that you're not going to take the position that you are anti-civil rights movement. Like, I'm being charitable and assuming that you're not a fucking fascist animal, right? Which is precisely the reason why I'm thinking like, okay, you probably look to the civil rights movement and you say, no, those acts of civil disobedience were met with a lot of state brutality, and it was actually deeply unpopular in the majorities, in the framework of the majority, and yet they were totally valid, and it's good that they did that, right? Because I assume that you think the civil rights movement is good. If you think the civil rights movement is bad, then we don't really have any conversation that we can have here. This goes into a totally separate category, which is like laws that are created in a way that is unjust, laws that deserve to be violated. Like, I don't know. I don't know what's happening here. I don't know if you have like the clan robe on or something. You good? He's not responding. I think we broke him. Bro, why are Destiny's fans like this? I just don't understand it. Like, why are Destiny fans always fucking roaming the internet looking to fight on issues that I would suspect that they already agree with, and it turns out they don't? Like, you're trying to be a liberal in 2024. You're trying to be a centrist in 2024. This means you have to do the reading a little bit, right? This means that all the previous acts of civil disobedience are good, just not this current one, right? Like, you're supposed to act like you think the civil rights movement was good. You're not supposed to say that was bad and wrong. Do you understand? Like, you're fucking it up. You're fucking up your own propaganda. You're messing it up because everyone then immediately recognizes that you're a racist fucking idiot who is trying to make an argument and failing to do so. I'm telling you right now, okay, there are certain laws that are bullshit laws that are created or weaponized against peaceful dissent. This is one of those instances. Then I'm also saying that there are certain laws that must be broken, that it is moral, because morality trumps over legality. Okay? For example, slavery. It was the law that you could keep and maintain a slave as a part of your capital. It was, as a matter of fact, illegal to free slaves. It was illegal to facilitate the abolition or the emancipation of slaves. I don't think anyone here would say, no, laws are laws. They should have followed it to a T. Some laws are meant to be broken. Some laws are ridiculous and unjust. Okay? During the period of segregation, the laws, or rather the lack of regulation or restriction that gave private institutions the right to segregate, private institutions, private corporations, the right to decide that black people can't come in. Or if they do come in, they have to go through a separate entrance, or they have to go to a separate area. These were unjustifiable rules that were set. It was perfectly valid to break the law and protest against that. Sometimes we have to look at the actual overarching goal. We have to look at the overarching goal of a movement and make up our minds, because we're all big boys here, right? Big boys and big girls and big MBs. And we can make this assessment on our own without, having big daddy government hold our hands through the process. Because if you are constantly seeking out the law and the legal code to be like, well, these things are not permissible, well, then guess what? Sometimes you're going to find yourself on the side defending slavery. Sometimes you're going to find yourself on the side defending segregation. Now, it doesn't seem like you have an issue with that. Okay? It doesn't seem like you have an issue with those, with those instances anyway. So I don't know. I don't know what to tell you about it. D-fans who lives were reposting this morning. What the fuck is this? What is happening here? I don't want to ever see something like this ever for the rest of my life. NYPD is looking for the guy. Somebody's radicalizing our students, says Deputy Commissioner. I don't know who could it be. Who could be radicalizing these TikTok? So on Tic-tac, I don't even tic-tac-toe. I don't fuck with that, so it's not me. Promise.
And Chief Shell's going to talk about some of the literature and the leaflets that we found at both of these sites. One being here at the new school, the other one being at the NYU. I just want to say, and I said it before, there is somebody behind this movement. There is some organization behind this movement. The level of organization that we're seeing in both of these encampments here and at Columbia.
Got to be someone else, right? I mean, yeah, no, there's, I don't know who there's guys out there that say a lot of stuff, and I think that, yeah, I don't know. I love Israel. As you guys know, I'm Israel Chai, okay? You know this. I know this. We know this. We love Israel. I've been watching the TikTok compilations of the Israeli Defense Force terrorizing the West Bank Palestinians, and I'm always thinking to myself, that's so sick. They call me the son of Israel. The son of Hamas. I'm the son of Israel. I'm the son of Benjamin Netanyahu. Such a fan. Dude, I wear the tightest capri pants you've ever seen with flip-flops and listen to techno music on repeat. Everybody knows this. I am a massive fan of chocolate hummus. Not Hamas, hummus.
Leaflets on how to protest. Leaflets on how to commit civil disobedience. Leaflets on what to do when you get arrested. Leaflets on what to say to the police when they ask you. There is somebody funding this. There is somebody radicalizing our students.
Bro, they're so mad. They're so mad that these kids are actually doing too good of a job They're too organized. They're doing too good of a job. And these motherfuckers are just bent. They're so goddamn bent that they can't just like use their regular tactics of disruption, use the regular propaganda. They're mad at fucking leaflets, bro. Have you seen the Piers Morgan interview with Cornel West and Uncle Jenk yet? No, and I probably will not watch it. Because that shit pisses me off usually. It's just like, even when I'm on the panel, it pisses me off.
And our Deputy Commissioner of Counterterrorism and Intelligence will find out who it is. And we're going to be asking them some questions when we do.
So this is a piece of literature amongst many that was we recovered from NYU, and this is, like I said, one of many. But I just want to read this to you.
Can you hold it up, please?
Yep. It says, "Occupy the occupiers. Enter the temporary autonomous zone from New York to Gaza and across Turtle Island."
Occupy the occupiers, they're saying. This is violent rhetoric, violent language. Let me tell you something. I apologize for the words I'm about to read. Let me tell you, it's a trigger warning, as the fucking queer kids say, right? Trigger warning. All right, words of violence. I'm about to read some stuff from this fucking pamphlet. All right? That is about to fucking make you blow a gasket over here. All right? Words of fucking violence. Silence in this moment is complicity, if you know what I'm fucking saying. I'm about to read something that's, what are the kids calling it? A fucking microaggression, right? All right, we're doing a microaggression over here. Hey, yo, this Italiaphobia will not fucking stand, dude.
Disrupt, reclaim, destroy. Zionist business interests everywhere. Death to Israel real estate. Death to America unschooled. Long live the Intifada. So this
right? Think about how violent that is, right? They're using Arabic words over here. Intifada. Let me tell you something. Hey, yo, they said a fucking Arabic word. Hey, I thought this was post 9/11 America. You guys know? You guys know about this fucking place over here? They call them halal guys. They're doing chicken and rice and it's fucking delicious. But they have the audacity to use Arabic words, brother. I'm fucking losing my mind.
Mindset of some of these protesters, sure.
And did you have any greater difficulty at one of the colleges than another today?
No.
With resistance?
No, not at all. We gave the kids something they need to learn. We gave them options, multiple options, and
yeah, we gave them a lesson. We tried to make them as stupid as us by giving them fucking multiple concussions over here, but it didn't fucking work out, unfortunately, because they're trained by this Hamas guy.
What their options were is to, in NYU, leave peacefully, and a lot of them did, and that's what we want. A couple said, "I want to be arrested." Okay, fine. And we said, "Okay, you're at the summons level. Don't resist, and you'll get a summons." That worked out fine. Here, the same thing. A couple kids took us up on the offer. A couple kids did not. You saw them being arrested. And I hope you captured, I know you captured, the complete hatred for Israel that was being spewed, and the hatred for the NYP being spewed by the youth of this school. All right, and that's something it's upsetting as a father and as New York City people, correct?
The decision to raid came last night in conjunction with the colleges. Is that right?
Yeah, the two colleges presidents in writing requested what they needed, what they wanted, and I wouldn't call it a raid. I would call it just a removal of kids who were trespassing.
Yeah, it's not a fucking raid, all right? Yeah, we fired one fucking gun, all right? We fired one gun. You know how fucking good that is statistically speaking, all right? One time, you use live ammunition one fucking time. All of a sudden, everyone's like, "Hey, you're doing a fucking raid over here." Listen. It's all right. It's called negligent discharge, which is what my asshole was doing last night after I had the halal guys. You know how much it hurt my butthole? These guys are doing Islamic terrorism to my ass. I didn't know. I thought the red sauce was just like Frank's Red Hot, right? Turns out that shit is spicy. It was spicy going in, but let me tell you how fucking spicy it was coming out over here.
That's what I would call it. Okay.
And you know what? Let me just add. If you go on my social media page, this is very important. I took a picture of this.
My social media page. I love this cop. This is my favorite. Dude, dude, listen. Autistic cops matter, okay? A lot of you are not ready for this. A lot of you are not ready for the autistic cop who is masking, who is doing his very best to communicate with the media, okay? He's doing his best.
Lessons on taking over a school. Can you believe that? Lessons on how to take over a school at NYU. Tell me that somebody's not radicalizing our students.
This guy's awesome. I love him, dude. He's like, guys, look at this pamphlet. They're talking about taking over a school. It's so scary. Can you believe it?
What NYU student would do something like this? Somebody's behind this. Lessons on taking over a school. 1, out of the quad. 2, if you build, they will come. 4, listen to the organizers. 5, be prepared. 6, read the pamphlets.
Isn't that funny that like the scary thing that he's mentioning is basically talking about like, you know, momentum. Like how do you build momentum at school and grow your protest? And it literally is valid. Like not a single part of that was actually scary or fucked up or wrong. So I like that this is the greatest level of propaganda that they can conduct. The amount of resilience and the organizational capabilities of these students is so fucking phenomenal. It's actually so phenomenal that they can't even find a single thing. Like, I'm shocked, okay? Obviously, under normal circumstances, especially as someone who has like covered this kind of stuff, covered like any kind of protest that threatens the existing hierarchies, there's always a guy who says something that is offhanded, you know what I mean? Off-colored remark. Like, you'll always have like during the Black Lives Matter protests, you have people that would say like anti-white stuff or whatever, and everyone would get so scared. Oh my God. Or a guy would be like wearing a dude would be wearing like bacon socks or something, and they'd be like, see, they want to kill cops. They're calling him pigs. And the sensitivity demonstrated by obviously reactionary media that only gets woke, quote unquote woke, when it comes to things that actually threaten power was always frustrating to deal with. But like in this circumstance, there is no thing that you can actually point to. But make no mistake, even if there were, I would still be defending these fucking protests. I just want everybody to understand, like, because maybe some of you think that, you know, these are defensible acts of emancipatory protest only because they follow the law and yet they still get brutalized. No, it is not because of their perfect victimhood that I am in defense of these students. Okay? It's actually shocking to me that they are able to be perfect victims in this circumstance, and yet the media still fucking lies about them. Anyway.
Lessons on how to take over a school. Come on, folks. There's somebody behind this.
Have a good day,
Thank
guys.
you.
Anyway, it's very funny to see that. Is that cop in the right high up or supposed to be a media guy? Because this is the third time I've seen him talk to the news. Yeah, I think he's like a media liaison person. Yeah, but notice how they move the needle now because everyone is actually a fucking student. Everyone arrested is like actually a student. So now, or faculty or teachers. So now they're turning around and being like, well, they're all terrorists. Students are actually terrorists and we have to kill them.
There were new crackdowns on those campus protests against the war in Gaza.
None of these None of these media narratives work. And I have tried my very best.
In Oregon.
I have tried my very best to desperately push back against the steady flow of misinformation. But of course, like, you know, we don't have the same power to influence masses in the same way that like mainstream media can. So I'm trying my fucking best out here, and I'm sure you guys are as well. But ultimately, it doesn't really matter, because as long as the media will consistently say all of the wrong things and report on it with false framing and lie, and then never actually be held accountable for lying about things, it won't matter. All right, let's continue.
Police cleared an occupied library at Portland State University. New video shows damage inside the...
Like, I don't care about the vandalism on the walls and stuff, too, by the way. Like, I just want everybody to understand. Like, I know that there's probably not a lot of people that have... probably the reason why not a lot of people have come in here to yell at me about, like, how I'm defending unconscionable things, such as vandalism or whatever, is because, like, the students have been following the rule of law almost to a T, right? But you know, regardless, like, these non-violent rules being broken in non-violent ways, I don't care about at all. They use property damage to scare capital owners who usually don't give much of a shit. Yeah, exactly.
Building, including graffiti. Earlier, President Biden had some sharp criticism of the demonstrations just hours after officers cleared a protest camp at UCLA. Jonathan Bigliotti is there for us today. Jonathan, good morning.
And good morning to you, Vlad. It's hard to believe that just 24 hours ago, you had this chaotic standoff.
Seems like a losing battle. It's not. Because you want to know why it's not a losing battle? And I've said this already. One, just because something seems like a losing battle, if you know you're on the right side of history, should not cause you to falter, should not cause you to stop, should not cause you to go, seems like we're losing, so who gives a shit? You're talking to a fucking 10-year loser, okay? Since the beginning of my professional career as a political commentator, I've been on the losing side of every single fucking conversation, nonstop. That's what being a leftist is about in many instances, is about being on the right side of history, but taking L's for being on the right side of history just too early, okay? It doesn't matter. You should not stop. You shouldn't stop. You mustn't stop. You must continue, because your cause is just. There's always going to be naysayers throughout this entire process. And yet, as far as like this iteration goes, this round of conversations goes, for years and years, I've talked about Palestinian emancipation, and I have never seen this level of support in the Western world in any demographic. Many people could have given up. Many people who have been talking about this stuff for years and years could have given up. And they should have. But slowly but surely, we are now at a tipping point, basically, where there is mass mobilization occurring in the Western world against Israel's actions. So ultimately, it doesn't matter. You're not doing it for immediate gratification. You're doing this for the next generation. You're doing this because it's the right thing to do. You're doing this because there's power in solidarity, there's strength in numbers. You're not doing it so that people give you brownie points, that people go, oh, you're a cool guy. Oh, you're on the right side of history. That's not the reason why you do it. You do it because it is right. Yeah. This is only the beginning. I love these arguments. This is only the beginning. The Vietnam protest started in 1963. The war ended 10 years later. Yeah. It takes a long fucking time. So much coverage all of a sudden. They just need to look away from the encampments like they did for Gaza. So many Zionists at UCLA. So much coverage all of a sudden. Yeah, now that the police packed them up They are doing victory laps on the fucking encampments, but it doesn't matter. The only reason why you feel like there is not much to hope, there's not much momentum for hope here, is because you might be a little new to this process. No disrespect, right? And you might be a little new to like being a progressive person in a country like the United States of America. You just have to remember that your cause is just. If you truly believe in emancipation for all peoples, then you're doing the right thing. And before you know it, you arrive over the course of 10 years, you arrive at a situation unlike anything you've ever experienced before. I'm telling you, the reason why I always feel hopeful despite seeing so much violence every day, especially as it pertains to Palestine and Palestinian emancipation, is because I've never felt more like there are people out here on this side than this very moment. And tomorrow there will be even more people. And the day after, the movement will continue to grow.
Unfolding behind me this morning, the chancellor now facing calls to step down after making the decision to call in law enforcement. Across the country, campuses are struggling to support free speech while protecting students and staff.
Yeah, no, they're not. They are actually hurting students and staff in an effort to also suppress their free speech. That is precisely what's going on.
Protesters with makeshift armor ran from the Portland State University library into dozens of police surround.
There has never been a single moment throughout American history, throughout history at all, where the things that we take for granted, such as the weekend, for example, which we celebrate every Friday. That's why the vibes are immaculate on Fridays. There's never been a single instance where rights and civil liberties were just simply given to everyone because those who control all of the power decided that they were going to be gracious, that they were going to be magnanimous. It has never happened that way. Every single thing that you take for granted now that is enshrined in the Constitution, or rights, or even social safety nets, every single one of those things were fought for. Okay? Oftentimes in infinitely more violent ways, by the way. Infinitely more violent ways than the situation that you're seeing in front of your eyes currently.
Surrounding the area as officers cleared out a days-long occupation Thursday. Outside, tense clashes as authorities threw protesters to the ground and arrested several. At one point,
how do you fight the feeling of hopelessness? Simply through belief in the cause. All I'm saying is, if you're a socialist, if you're a leftist, if you're a progressive for a long enough time, you will start recognizing that despite the immediate L's that you're taking all the fucking time and things seeming very hopeless, that there is always momentum building up, that truth finds a way, that justice finds a way, and that inevitably, if you push and push and push, no matter what, you will inevitably see victory. You have to maintain revolutionary optimism. It's just something you have to do. That's why I always try to explain to people. That, like, being a leftist is not about being cool. It's not about being liked, even by people even by entire groups of people that you're advocating for, right? Like, people will sometimes come in here and be like, well, I advocate for trans people, but they yell at me all the fucking time. And it's like, yeah, okay. So what? Are you advocating for trans people because you want trans people to like you and think you're cool? Or are you advocating for trans people because you think it's fucked up what the government is doing to trans people, like legislating them out of existence? Who gives a shit? That's why, unlike many of my contemporary peers, okay, my position on this stuff has not really changed in the reactionary way. Many people turn around and go, oh, people are yelling at me, so I'm throwing out everything that I supposedly believed. I don't have a fucking moral compass that swings wildly like that. And you shouldn't either. You mustn't. You know what I mean? Same with Black Twitter. Black Twitter is eating your ass, dude. They're calling you a white supremacist. The Barbs are calling you a white supremacist. Okay, I guess it's fine now. I guess I no longer am in favor of genuinely restructuring the white supremacist criminal justice system. Like, that's ridiculous. Are you so malleable that a couple people yelling at you changed your entire worldview? It blows my fucking mind. And the same thing goes for even fucking Nazis. Like, I advocate for healthcare for all including fucking Nazis, okay? My goal is to fix the economic volatility that creates radicalization of that sort, that makes a perfect breeding ground for reactionary sentiment. My job and my goal, my overall goal, is to create an environment where it's virtually impossible to become a Nazi. Sorry for the blast off, but this was 3 years ago today. Wow, look at that. Biden summit. Kendrick Lamar is the GOAT. If you're feeling hopeless, you're missing the forest for the trees. Protesters do what they do for attention, and they're getting much more attention than before the arrest and violence started. It's a W, not an L. Yes. 616. Anyway, let's continue.
A car drove into a group who pelted it with objects before the driver sprayed something out the window and ran away. Cleanup is underway on UCLA's campus after chaos erupted early Thursday when officers in riot gear tore down the protester encampment.
They were shooting flash grenades over the heads of these students.
Associate Professor Graham Blair was among the 210 people arrested.
They violently threw protesters from inside the encampment to outside the encampment, and I saw bodies flying through the air. There's no other way to describe it.
In New York, newly released police body camera footage shows officers at Columbia University cutting their way through barricades after the school called in the NYPD to clear protesters from the campus. The NYPD tells CBS News that during that sweep, an officer accidentally fired their gun inside the hall Tuesday, but no one was injured.
When nonviolent protest is met with violent repression, it really does move public opinion and even voting behavior.
Except for the fact that mainstream media, except for this coverage, is doing its darndest to make this seem like the protest was violent in and of itself and needed violent retaliation from the state. For the record, should we be concerned that the professors who are taking on the greatest risk of being beaten and arrested seem to be mostly historians? Yeah, it is very odd. It is very odd. Cops keep beating the shit out of Jewish grandmas, okay? Left and fucking right. Jewish grandmas and Jewish grandpas, left and right, who are surprisingly, or I guess unsurprisingly, history professors, sometimes literally history professors of Jewish culture. And it's like, that doesn't call into question what is going on here at all, you know? Anyway. Reddit is down. Allah is showing us his light and mercy. Wait, really? What's going on? LAPD got hacked apparently. Reddit is down. What the fuck's happening? The professors who aren't history professors are literally leading NYPD intelligence agencies in Tel Aviv. Oh yeah, I saw this. The NYPD crackdown on Columbia University students was led by a member of the school's faculty. Rebecca Weiner is a Columbia professor who leads the NYPD Intel division that maintains an office in Tel Aviv. Weiner said the student rhetoric necessitated a violent raid. Like, in a truly just world, that person would lose their job for demanding a violent retaliation and a violent, like, unimaginably violent escalation for the state against her own fucking students. But of course, we do not live in a just world.
Omar Wasu has studied the impact of protests for about 20 years.
If the police use heavy-handed tactics, it sort of ignites a larger movement. At the same time, when protesters are perceived to use extreme tactics, that can lead to both disapproval and legitimize the more forceful response by the police.
And several universities say it's bad actors that are sparking the violence. In New York City, Mayor Adams confirming 30% of the
NYPD Intel Department maintains an office in Tel Aviv. Yes. Would you be shocked to find out that the IDF has also trained most local police departments post 9/11 on counterterrorism? Yeah.
those arrested at Columbia University had no affiliation to the school. Back here at UCLA, we do not know the identities of all of the 210 people that were arrested, but Jerika, many of them were students and in some cases, faculty members.
All right, Jonathan Bigliotti, thank you.
Dramatic body cam video saw wielding NYPD breach at Columbia University. Oh yeah, this is insane. This is insane.
What? This is two right here.
Look at how violent they are, dude. They're saying they're violently refusing to move. We have to kill these students now, guys. We have to do everything we can. Think about the property damage. But what about the property damage? Well, it's you know, it's totally fine and valid when the cops do it. You don't understand. Yeah, I saw this Franklin Leonard post. It's not weird to anyone else that this Israeli special ops vet was coordinating with police last night during the raid of the UCLA encampment. This guy, Aaron Cohen official, ran a quiet infiltration operation into the UCLA encampment. And now down here, why is he wearing a fucking keffiyeh too? Down here with LASD, who's staging now and preparing to make entry onto to begin taking down the pro-terror anti-Semitic encampment. Also had a good chat and deep dive with Dr. Phil, who came down for a debrief, which I'll share soon. Why is a counterterrorism expert who's an Israeli special operations veteran collaborating and doing infiltration? That's very odd. It's a very odd thing to me, at least. It's like
Aaron Cohen here, counterterrorism analyst, law enforcement instructor. I'm down here at UCLA right now, and have the opportunity to spend a minute here with LASD, some of my associates, and I just want to take a minute right now to make it very clear that these guys here, this is one of the finest. This is the largest sheriff's office in the country right here. Special Enforcement Bureau, their SWAT team. You got.
Yeah, they're fucking freaks, dude. They're literally gangsters. Like, fuck you mean?
SRT down here. You've got some search and rescue elements. These are some of the finest trained individuals, not just in the city of Los Angeles.
That's right, guys. I tactically ascertained that the 18-year-old queer anthropology students were actually saying things that hurt my feelings as an Israeli Special Forces vet. They kept saying, I've killed babies. Not little do they know that the babies I killed were terror babies, babies of terror. And therefore, obviously, the babies were tactically dealt with by my hands and perfectly were valid confirmed kills. I engaged in an ocular pat down to maintain the safety and security of these beautiful hot dog dipshits behind me. Okay, as you can see, they are many people are saying that they're fat and out of shape and calling them pigs, which I have decided is also violent rhetoric.
But in the country, sheriff's office around the country, they follow LA County Sheriff. You can see behind me, there's a little bit of staging going on. I'm not going to get into the nitty gritty of the staging, just to keep everything.
Why don't you stop the fake news already? What have I said that's fake? Give me a fake news. Bro, it's 12:54. Come on, bro. Come on. From Shawnee Witch, I'm one of the facilitators for CU Denver's discussions the coming weeks between students, staff, and faculty. I'm staff at CU, and I want to make sure that I want to make the best of this vague discussion format to ensure pressure on admin is maintained. Any thoughts or advice? Yeah, the thoughts and advice that I will give you right now is to subscribe for $5 or free with a Twitch Prime, but I'll give you a real answer in a second. Hold on. Let me run the top of the hour ad break because this guy cooked me. If you no longer want to see those ads, all you need to do is subscribe. For $5 or for free, he's an actor known for John Wick Chapter 2, Haywire, Rambo, Last Blood. He probably is a lot of these dudes will then turn around. A lot of these dudes will then turn around. Here's you taking 5 minutes off right now. Okay. Bait comment deserves more than a 5 minutes off, but I'm being gracious today. I'm being nice. Why don't you help the Palestinians by going to Palestine and protesting Hamas? That's sick, bro. Yes, you're right. I think that instead of protesting the American government that is like allowing Israel, giving Israel all the weapons to kill the Palestinian children, I should go to Gaza and get fucking executed by the very same weapons that my tax dollars paid for. You're right. That seems like a really good way to deal with this. Okay, you're right. Hey, why don't you go? Excuse me. You said you don't like murder. How about you go get murdered right now? You don't like genocide? Why don't you go get genocided? See how you like it. See, maybe you won't like it maybe you won't like it extra hard if you are a victim to the ethnic cleansing campaign yourself personally. I'm good, man. Thank you for the suggestion, though. That seems very helpful, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and not do that. Okay. Hey, you got an issue with American tax dollars killing Palestinian children with the weapons that we're sending to Israel? Why don't you go get fucking murked by the same weapons that you paid for? Is not exactly a decent argument. What is your opinion on Musab Hassan Yusuf or the Green Prince? Is that the son of Hamas? Yeah, whatever, dude. Clown ass.
Everything nice and sterile as operations here are ongoing.
What was the question from the organizer? I don't know how to answer that question.
I just want to take a minute, let you guys know down here with LASD.
That was embarrassing.
You know, everybody here is ready to do whatever needs to be done to get this situation diffused safely and with the highest degree of selectivity. But again, LASD, this is the biggest sheriff's agency in the country, some of the finest deputies that I've worked with. And their capabilities, their tactics are incredible for, you know, diffusing a situation like this that's happening on campus. Just want to say it's really important right now to support law enforcement. You know, these are the peacemakers out here, and these are the guys who are going to be risking their life to go in and
peacemakers.
Not only pull those protesters out and protect the.
Yeah, peacemakers, bro. It was so goddamn peaceful. So goddamn peaceful. They so peacefully fucking shot students in the face with rubber bullets and tear gassed them and violently apprehended them for the crime of singing and the crime of having a encampment, for the crime of saying, Israel, not so great. Okay, we need to dial it back a little bit with our unconditional support for Israel. And they were like, nope, you're going to die now. We're going to kill you. Sorry.
Students, but we'll want to make sure these guys get home safely also. So yeah, down here at UCLA.
We got to make sure these guys get home safe. What are you saying, brother? What are you fucking saying? The mind of a cop, dude. I swear to God. Yeah. The English major sophomore is going to fucking kill the cop. You're right. Grave danger. Bitch, we know there's no grave fucking danger there. If there was, you wouldn't actually be assaulting these students. You'd be sitting around playing Candy Crush in the fucking background waiting. That's what happens when there's real fucking danger. You're the danger in the situation.
Hey, stand by. I'm going to bring you guys some more.
Just don't use their IP. The LA Police Foundation sent a cease and desist letter to the sellers of the shirt that said, fuck the LAPD. The foundation said it holds the exclusive IP rights to the word LAPD. The seller's response was succinct. Lol, no. You got to admit, having a cop brain for one day would be so fun. Yeah, I mean, I think it's like the same as doing so many fucking drugs that your brain is fried. You know what I mean? It's basically like being drunk for the day. You're just like permanently concussed. The only issue is that when you're that level of a reactionary freak, you are genuinely terrified of everything. You know what I mean? LAPD, lactating assholes policing demonstrators. I like that. Imagine if you lost all critical thinking skills. You're a cop now. Tacos or hot dogs? Is that even a fucking argument? What do you mean? It's tacos all the way. That's insane. You could have just said like tacos or hamburgers or something so we could stand a fucking chance. When you say hot dogs, it's like there's nothing there. That's not even a fucking question, big dog. Come on. I don't even know if I don't know anyone who would actually choose
a local
hot dogs in that situation. Film the Police LA went on Spectrum News.
Frequently documents protests and police activity in our area. Political anchor Alex Cohen had a chance to speak with him and hear his perspective on what happened last night.
Among the people who were on the UCLA campus late last night was videographer William Good, who goes by the handle Film the Police LA on social media. He told me that at first he thought some of the folks trying to dismantle the encampment were actually police officers, but then quickly realized that was not the case.
When I saw them, I thought they were a police riot squad. It was dark out, so I could only really see silhouettes, but I noticed that they were fully covered, including their faces. And like I said, these weren't COVID masks. These were full Halloween type masks covering their face. And then they decided that they were going to rush the encampment, and they sure did. I got to say, I probably saw 200 assaults last night. 200, and easily 200. At the same time, we're watching fireworks exploding in the camp. I spent half the night with my eyes running from the bear spray. Seeing an old lady, an elderly lady, assaulted, having a bottle thrown at her.
Do you think that there's a difference in between the face coverings and how they're being used between the two sides you saw last night?
I think that both sides are covering their faces to hide their identities. I think they're for different reasons, though. I think that the pro-Palestinians who are hiding their faces are worried about being doxxed. And I have video recording after recording of people saying we're going to make sure that you...
I beef with him? No. I don't... I mean, he's a good dude overall. And he does a lot of really great work, including against the Church of Scientology. He's just a little wild, and you need that. You need that kind of crazy. That's it.
Lose your jobs. We're going to make sure you get kicked out of school. We're going to make sure you never get a job again. So they're operating under that sort of assumption. Whereas the other side last night, who came in full masks, who had been telling the pro-Palestinian protesters to take off their masks, but yet they came fully masked up while calling the pro...
Bro, I swear to God, we have 27,000 people in the chat. We did a poll, hot dogs or tacos, and it literally got 700 votes. When I'm gaming later in the day, we have like 15,000 chatters, and there's like 8,000 fucking votes. What is going on? Leftists don't like the vote. Gamers, on the other hand, do. What's that about? I swear to God, bro. It doesn't make any sense.
Pro-Palestinian supporters, terrorists, yet they came looking like they were dressed like ISIS. As they were terrorizing that encampment.
Good says he will continue to show up on the campus and document what he sees transpire there.
Most of us are listening at work. Fair. That's true. Gamers don't have jobs. We know that already. New poll on the protests from Morning Consult. 76% of support police for protecting campuses from violence. 47 for banning pro-Palestine protests, 41% for banning pro-Israel protests, 38% plurality for divestment, bonus 56% of Republicans back sensitivity training on campus. That's wonderful. American politics is so fucking stupid, dude. Always and forever. All this is about actions colleges and universities should take themselves and not the government, to be clear. I think people might just universally hate protesting, which like raised some questions and concerns. Don't think this is the case, thankfully. In the first weeks of the Floyd protest, for instance, polls showed broad support. One in WAPO said 53% who thought they were mostly violent still backed them. Content and per Omar Wassau media coverage matter. A general point, it's true that many individual voters have incoherent beliefs, but it's also important to remember that pluralities and majorities are not all the same people. You might have no opinion on one thing and on another, for instance, aggregation is complex, etc. Very funny that the median voter on this issue is basically a Palestinian American police officer in Chicago. I think that it's not because the average American is stupid. I mean, the average American is very stupid, myself included. I am the average American. However, I also can't really fault them for it because, I mean, think about it this way. I spent every waking fucking moment trying to do my very best from a goddamn Twitch stream to combat mainstream media misinformation and false framing of things that are genuinely the exact opposite, right? But I'm one person. And there's other content creators as well that are also trying to do their very best. You guys in the chat are trying to do your very best to like combat the misinformation and talk to people in your immediate vicinity. But ultimately, the reason why a lot of these people develop opinions like this, okay, is because that's what the media is saying. Of course, the media has been spending every fucking waking moment, nonstop offering coverage to how fucking violent the pro-Palestinian peace encampments are. That's it. They use every moment they can to justify and demand violent retaliation. So, of course, ultimately, people are going to have these like weird, inconsistent beliefs as a consequence of that. Anyway, what is this? How are you that hateful, lol? People are sad creatures. My friend went to dinner wearing a keffiyeh, and this is what the table across
My friend
the
went to
room
dinner
did.
wearing a keffiyeh, and this is what the table across the room did.
What the fuck? Dude, that's so funny. The funniest part is they're shitting bricks too. They're probably fucking terrified. They're like, "Oh god, it's a terrorist. There's a terrorist here." But it's okay. We'll show them. No, they just have they went and Googled the fucking Israeli flag and put up the Google search with the Israeli flag within I guess the eye shot of the person wearing the keffiyeh. They didn't even fucking rotate and full screen it or anything. They just like immediately. It's awesome. Whatever. Who gives a shit? Fuck them. My mother calls it the friggin' Arafat scarf. Please cover the University of Mississippi massive counter protest that took place. 40 protests were also versus almost 1,000 counter protesters. Holy shit. What? The Irish journal who retweeted you is now more understanding of the base American after all of this. When I was young, I used to be really pissed at Americans for not giving a shit about Palestine. I'm starting to feel more sympathetic the more of this stuff I see. Seems like a lot of wool is getting pulled off of eyes. Yeah. Why is there not much discussion about the Hamas leaders like Hamad and Mashal? I don't, because they're the overarching media analysis on like the Hamas side of the talks is just to basically never cover it at all, regardless of who the leadership is. Like it's all one big blob of terrorist monsters, and Hey, yo, shout out for your civil discussion with Asman. I've never seen that side of you, to be honest. Chatter, stick around. I have civil discussions with people that I disagree with all the time. It's just that kind of stuff doesn't make good content and good clickbait. So people that hate me don't post that kind of thing, and they post the worst things that they possibly could find and try to frame it on a regular basis to be like, he's so unjustifiably violent and angry in his rhetoric. Did you speak on a call, or is the chatter referring to your Twitter exchange? No, I had a convo with him. I brought him on. He wanted to come on stream, actually. They only see anti-Pikers tweets and run? No. No, it's because you hyper-focus on chatters instead of ignoring them and you get clip-chimped. I mean, that's definitely a part of it as well. Will you have a civil discussion with that lolly avatar guy if you would be honest? I think it would personally just see what that goober thinks. No, probably not. I don't think I could have I don't think I have the capacity to talk to someone who has a lolly avatar and like defends like pedophilic drawings. I think I would probably not be able to do that. Sorry. That doesn't mean I can have a normal conversation with everyone. You know what I mean? Big scoop via Jewish Insider. Mainstream Jewish groups pull out of Department of Education's meeting over inclusion of far-left activists. One of the invited groups is closely associated with, if not now, the anti-Israel Jewish advocacy group. They pulled out of the Department of Education meeting because If Not Now was there, which is hilarious because out of all of the Jewish anti-Zionist groups, If Not Now is literally like the most tame. Like, If Not Now is probably the most, comprised of all Jews, by the way. And it is definitely like the most pacifist, the least like aggro group. Several mainstream Jewish groups pulled out of a meeting on Friday with high-level Biden administration officers. Oh, by the way, wee woo. I'm actually not looking at simply just a Twitter thread, but instead the editor-in-chief of Jewish Insider breaking down their own article. Just so you understand, I know that a lot of people see the Twitter thread and go, lol, you care, you only read Twitter threads or whatever. But, you know, just an alert for those of you who don't understand. This is just a breakdown, a summary of the article itself. So just letting you know from the person who, played a role in this coverage himself. Anyway, several mainstream Jewish groups pulled out of a meeting on Friday with high-level Biden administration officials about campus anti-Semitism after learning that the Department of Education had also included a number of left-wing groups not usually included in White House convenings. The meeting with Education Secretary Miguel Cardona and the White House Domestic Policy Advisor Neera Tanden was requested by Jewish advocacy groups that had previously met with Cardona in October. Shortly after October 7, Hamas attacks that set off a wave of anti-Semitism in the U.S. Jewish groups were also surprised and puzzled to see a group called the Diaspora Alliance, which many had never even heard of. The Diaspora Alliance group is closely associated with If Not Now, which since October 7 has aligned itself with Jewish Voice for Peace and other anti-Israel advocacy groups. Three of the Diaspora Alliance's staff members, including the group's international director, Karen Luck, along with Simone Zimmerman and Emma Salzberg, co-founded If Not Now a decade ago. If Not Now's New York chapter released a statement this week in support of student activists at Columbia University and other campuses in New York, calling the activists brave students who have spoken up in solidarity with the Palestinians as they face a genocide in which our country and their universities are complicit. I think it's fucking hilarious that these guys are throwing a bitch fit because If Not Now is participating in the talks. Like 90% of the people that are participating in the talks are fucking incredibly aggro, ultra-nationalist Zionists. But now when you have a couple anti-Zionists involved that will actually personally showcase the side of the students a little bit, okay, all of a sudden it's like, nope, how dare you? How dare you do this? It's like you can't have anything short of 100% support. If you don't have 100% support for Israel unconditionally, okay, then fuck you. then you are an anti-Semite. What's the bro tip for today? I am putting this bro's tip inside of your mother's pussy consensually, of course. I am your father. You are my stepson. We will fix you one day, but you are currently grounded. Sorry for all the parents watching. Go to your room. Anyway. If not now, has been calling for a ceasefire in the Israel-Hamas war since days after the October 7th attack and advocating for the U.S. to stop sending military assistance to Israel. The group has been referring to Israel's war against Hamas as a genocide since mid-October. I cannot believe that you would ever bring forward a group that is correct and on the right side of history, even if they are comprised of like 3 individuals who are Jewish themselves, of course, that represent another group that is comprised of Jewish individuals who are anti-Zionist themselves. How dare you bring 3 people to this conversation that will now make up, I guess, 30% of the conversation, nothing short of 100% for unconditional loyalty and fealty to the state of Israel and all of its misconduct. How dare you? Anyway, as far as the violent actions taken against students, let's get back to, or if not now, actually moderate. I thought they were explicit about apartheid, ethnic cleansing, and genocide. They are. If not now is definitely anti-apartheid, but they're not as I don't know. I don't want to say anything. They're fine. They're good. They're comprised of a lot of great individuals for the most part. I think they're 2-staters ultimately. If not now, arguably still a Zionist organ. I say this is an anti-Zionist Jew. A lot of them are Israel critics because they love the idea of Israel and want it to survive. They are tied to Israel what Robert Reich is to capitalism. Yeah, but they're definitely, their messaging is very tame. They're nowhere near as aggro as Jewish Voice for Peace is, but it doesn't matter. Ultimately, they are still absolutely necessary in this movement, especially considering, look, like even the tamest recognition that Israel's actions are unconscionable and genocidal, which is objectively the truth and increasingly becoming the majority opinion. Even that alone, being represented at the table, is considered unacceptable.
It's tied on. Zip tied. Zip tied. Zip tied. Zip tied on the line. Team 2, breach yours. Right here. Lois. Mark, that's next. This is zip tied. Pass it down. Zip tied.
Yeah. ADL considers, if not now, a hate group, by the way. Of course, they consider Jewish Voice for Peace a hate group as well. They consider Students for Justice of Palestine a hate group as well. The ADL is like, the ADL, Apartheid Defense League. The ADL is a hate group, okay? That's all you need to know. Anyway. What is this? Hamas fueling their rockets with cookies?
When the population has always had a calorie surplus.
Yeah, even the diet part.
Calorie surplus. Yeah. They literally have. That's why when the famine started, when all the people were moved, I believe it was UNRWA that made the statement that this is a region that has never experienced hunger before.
That's what's so infuriating.
That's also why Finkelstein got mad, because if you try to cite, really, wait, these people are starving? By what metric? You can't find
that's what's so infuriating, Stephen, is that you want to start counting calories and try to discover whether they have a surplus or not, when you're missing the fact that Israel getting to decide what food gets into Gaza is itself outrageous.
Right.
One people does not get to control whether another side gets to have cookies for their children,
and you know
or potato chips or sodas. You don't get to do that. That's a level of dominance and oppression that is unacceptable.
But you're not capable of having it because you won't even admit why the blockade exists. So you don't even deserve to be in that.
What do you want him to admit?
Yeah. Oh, wow. The Israel Defender says that you can't even have this conversation. You don't deserve to have this conversation. Only I get to have this conversation because I'm pro-Israel. Ay, ay, ay.
What do you want him to admit? Why is there a blockade in Gaza?
Yeah, you tell me.
Why is there a blockade in Gaza?
When you look at the fact that Israel is preventing cookies from going into Gaza, you know that it's not motivated
Why
by
were
military.
cookies being prevented from going in?
And
what were
potato
custom
chips.
rockets fueled with?
Yeah, with cookies? Yeah.
With sugar and fertilizer. Yes, that's how they made the early rockets, the first generation.
Okay, I will admit, it is genuinely impressive how much dick riding this dude is able to do. Because, like, it is in some ways impressive that, like, a guy who literally thought Recep Tayyip Erdogan was the president of Israel like 3 months ago knows this level of, like, Hasbara propaganda. Like, this is the type of shit that you hear from, like, not even Alan Dershowitz at that point. You know what I mean? Like, there's certain landmines that those who have dedicated their lives to doing propaganda for Israel won't even touch. He fucking steps on the landmine and does not even give a shit if he comes across like an unhinged psycho. He said, yeah, dude, cookies can't go into Gaza because that's how Hamas rockets are made. Like, that's how we make the Hamas rockets. It's crazy.
Palestinians in Gaza sugar because it might be used.
First of all, they're allowed back in because they use more sophisticated rockets. But again, he's not going to admit it. I just want to be clear another time. Another thing you're not going to admit. Why does the blockade?
Yeah, why won't Omar? Why won't you admit that cookies are making rockets? He's doing this for clout, right? I mean, this is literally what he loves to do. He's a debate mercenary. This is his favorite shit. Doesn't matter how fucking truly unconscionable or how ridiculous the statements he's making are. He's in it. He's in the pocket. Did you go to the Frank Tyson case? No.
It exists. Yes. It's literally just because of the
Hamas
evil
fighters
Jews
breathe air.
The funniest part about it is that the funniest part about this stuff is that, like, he's arguing on, like, the most idiotic positions because he doesn't give a shit. And it's not like his fan base cares. His fan base likes the high notes that they can, like, capture in conversations like this, only to make it seem like he actually won a conversation or whatever, regardless of what the truth is, right? But what is truly hilarious about it is that, like, Israel has also lowered the restrictions from time to time. Like, for example, John Kerry saw that Israel was not allowing pasta into the Gaza Strip and was like, what the fuck are you doing? That's pasta. Like, what do you mean pasta is not allowed? So Israel was like, okay, never mind. This shit you don't even hear on Channel 14 in Israel. I've literally never heard of this process of creativity. Yeah, like, it's because it's stupid. That's the other reason why you won't hear it. Because at least, like, as arrogant as, like, the Israeli administrators are, right? As comfortable as they are with, like, not really receiving any kind of scrutiny, even they recognize, I suspect, that saying cookies can be used for rocket fuel is an unhinged thing to say. Israel believes that they're using cookies to make rockets is going to make you look like a fucking idiot, right? To the broadest population. They're going to be like, what are you saying? That's insane. Ironic also because, like, Israel itself will then allow cookies in because they obviously know that this is, like, ridiculous and makes them look bad. So whenever the United States of America says, like, what the fuck are you doing? Let this shit in. They'll say, okay, never mind. Sorry, our bad. So obviously it wasn't being used for motherfucking rocket fuel, you know? He has to be joking, right? No, he's not. I don't know why you're being charitable. He's just unconditionally demonstrating loyalty to Israel. He's literally just simply trying to defend Israel no matter what the point is. He's dug his heels in too deep. It will make him look like a fucking jackass if he turned around and completely went against every single thing that he said this close to the conversation. he also does get a lot of support from people who are desperately looking for anyone and everyone who will say unhinged shit, who are fueled by Islamophobia, who will just defend Israel unconditionally. So I think that is, I think that's part of the reason.
And to kill the Amalek, I guess.
Hamas fighters breathe air too. Maybe Israel can restrict air from going into Gaza to make sure that Hamas
But he's
fighters
saying then the burden
breathe.
should be
It's
on
so
Hamas
ridiculous.
not to use.
It's not,
No,
of course not.
Palestinians have no agency.
No,
They're
no,
just
no.
rape
No.
is the language of the oppressed.
You don't,
like, they can't help
you
themselves.
don't punish
I
a
guess.
civilian
and I'm the
population
racist
to
one.
get at military ones. You don't punish civilian populations.
Like
to get
indiscriminately
at-
shooting tens of thousands of rockets decade after decade into Israel, like
The
what
scale-
Hamas does,
the scale of
punishing the
Israeli
civilian
violence-
population, like selling some of the humanitarian food back
did
to
you-
the population.
I just wanna make
of
sure.
digging up tunnels of water pipes and using them to fashion rockets.
Just want to make
of
sure I
taking
heard.
all the international aid that comes in and building tunnels and tunnels
Did
with
you,
cement.
Stephen? Did you say that Hamas is turning cookies into missiles?
My understanding
Is that
is
what
the
you said?
reason for the restricting of sugar-based products was that the first generation, I think they were called Qassam rockets, were built in really crude shops using combinations of fertilizer and sugars that they would use.
Do you know what the primary component of Hamas explosives is now?
I'm pretty sure now they use more sophisticated stuff, but I don't know. You tell me.
Unexploded Israeli bombs because they've dropped
He's right.
so many over the
I
last.
don't think that's true.
Yeah. He doesn't think it's true, but it is true. The only reason why he doesn't think it's true is literally because he doesn't fucking read. He only reads Wikipedia pages full of like information that is obviously one-sided so that he can craft a fucking quick, piffy counter argument to what he suspects his interlocutors are going to come at him with. That's the problem. There is a much broader understanding necessary here if you want to truly advocate on behalf of Israel. And this is from the New York Times. It's not like these guys are fucking anti-Israel at all. That's the issue. I don't think that's real. Yeah, you don't think that's real because you don't fucking know anything. You only are looking at information that makes you seemingly look good in short bursts. That's the problem. That's not true.
Decade.
I doubt that's true. I'm sure they do.
With a 10 to
utilize
20,
it,
with a 10 to 20% failure rate, Hamas then digs them up. The Yassine 105s that you see, blowing up.
Bomberelli. No, this is a very funny thing to just like so publicly be in support of, especially to this degree. If he at least was like a little bit more knowledgeable, he would always be like looking at liberal Zionists and what liberal Zionists are saying, maybe reading a little bit more of the pro-Palestinian, seemingly pro-Palestinian stuff, because that way you can actually understand what the talking points are and craft a counter narrative against it. It's not just about like hearing the fact that a lot of people bring up the cookie conversation or pasta as a part of the blockade, as a part of the Israeli blockade, which they've, in cartoon villain ways have considered putting the Palestinians on a diet, right? Which Bomberelli himself has also made jokes about and thinks is really funny. The reason why he knows the counter talking point to the cookie thing is because he knows that some people bring up the cookie conversation as a talking point. So he looked for what Israel claimed at the time was the reason as to why they were not allowing cookies. That's it. So it doesn't go beyond that. So when a person that he's talking to knows more than Octoberelli on the issue and turns back and says like, that's ridiculous, okay? As a matter of fact, they're just using, for the most part, they're using bomb parts of unexploded ordinances now. He goes, that's not true. That can't be true. Okay, maybe it's a little true. Well, there you go. That's the difference. That's the difference between someone who isn't making post hoc rationalizations, who's been covering this issue for many, many decades at this point, versus a guy who's making post hoc rationalizations and trying to find counter talking points to what he assumes is going to be an avenue of attack by looking into Wikipedia pages and like trying to fucking create like piffy one-offs and quotes. That's it. That's the issue here. Now, of course, when you do this against people that are not super knowledgeable, you will look like a fucking intellectual giant. And if you can't look like an intellectual giant because your opponent is maybe like a historian or something, okay, then you could just like kind of overwhelm them by yelling. When your talking points don't work, and that's what you basically saw in the Norm Finkelstein debate, where Norm Finkelstein packed him up because he's super stubborn. Okay, counter argument, Hamas has made rocket cookies. Yo, chill, bro. Don't show this. This is actually... The funniest part about this is that ultimately, like, his fan base will then now go and try to find like a singular instance or something that does not actually fit the norm at all, to just be like, actually, you were wrong, because here we found one instance where this guy from Hamas is being interrogated by like the IDF or something and saying like, yes, we do love using cookies for missiles. Those interrogation videos are obviously done under torturous conditions. Those aren't real fucking, those are just propaganda confessions that Israel utilizes, and even people inside of Israel don't really believe them either. It's usually just done to humiliate the Palestinians and Palestinian resistance groups in general. But, you know, the conversation will continue, even though it is objectively ridiculous. It's an objectively ridiculous statement to make.
All these Israeli tanks?
I'm sure there are some
Primarily fueled by
ordinances
Israeli
that they use,
explosives.
but I doubt the majority of them are.
But there's
But I'm sure there's some amount.
It's
but also,
not
again,
necessary.
just to reiterate,
more so than cookies.
You're not going to tell me. Well, that's why cookies are no longer.
Yes,
Yeah, why does the blockade exist?
I'm going to tell you why the blockade exists.
Okay.
And the reason, by the way, why it includes banning cookies and soda pop
Keep
and
repeating
potato
that.
chips.
Yes, the Oreos aren't going into the Gaza Strip.
No, I'm sure it's very funny denying children the ability to eat chocolates and toys because they are Palestinian and not Israeli. That's just so incredibly trivial.
Yes.
Incredibly trivial.
The emotional appeals.
And potato chips.
The emotional appeals, dude. I mean, it is pretty fucked up. What do you mean it's an emotional appeal? Like, I'm sorry that makes the argument that you're presenting look fucking significantly worse when you deliver what is actually happening and what the impact is on the broader Palestinian population. Yes, it is indefensible. You choose to defend it. You can't just go, emotional appeals. Be logical. You didn't deliver a logical counter. You simply stated that cookies are being used to make rockets, okay? While simultaneously saying fertilizer and processed sugar is how they make it. Packaged processed cookies are not being used to make fucking rockets. Oh. You tried to bastardize that argument, and when it failed and you look ridiculous, you then turn around and go, oh, you're making an emotional appeal. No, the real goal there is psychological terror. That's what it is.
It's working. We're two more virtue signals away from a free Palestinian people. Keep going. Yes.
It's you trivializing. If it was the other way around, if Hamas was imposing a siege on Israel in which Israeli children were not allowed to do any of that stuff, you would not be sitting here making light of it. It would not be trivial to you because you understand that Israelis are human beings and their children deserve to eat potato chips,
Jewish
and soda
people.
pops.
Sorry, hold on. How many Jewish people live in Arab countries around the world?
Wow, that's a really good counter, man. That's a really solid counter. Like, what the fuck? Why? That one, you just immediately move the goalpost to something entirely different, okay? And number two, Jewish people now, especially, are perfectly allowed to live in any fucking country they want to live in. As a matter of fact, ironically enough, Yasser Arafat tried to facilitate a reverse migration for Moroccan Jews, which of course nobody wanted to do, and that's fine. But it doesn't even matter in this circumstance. If your goal here is to say like Jews are not safe in any of these Arab countries, like what the fuck do you mean? What is the Abraham Accords? Okay, if we're talking throughout history, Jews were a lot safer under the Ottoman Empire than they were under Christian nations. If we're talking about right now, Jewish people can go to other nations with ease, as a matter of fact, in other Arab nations as well. But none of that has anything to do with Israel's genocidal intent, Israel's genocidal actions, and Israel's blockade. Is this why you tell chat to be normal so we don't look like this? Yes.
But they all left. How many? When we talk about the Nakba and the expulsion of Jews, how many Jews lived in the West Bank after 40?
See, there you go. How many Jews live in the West Bank? 750,000. What the fuck do you mean?
Thank you for the deflection.
I didn't deflect. I'm just answering your.
Let him answer about why the blockade exists.
He's not. He's got to do the 52 different talking points first.
The blockade exists.
Oh my God.
I like that he's also. I mean, he obviously is like extra hostile here because the people that he's talking to know what the fuck they're talking about. So he's just like really ramping it up with the gish galloping and also the goalpost moving. It is rather ironic that people who claim to be, debate experts, who are very quick to be like, that's an ad hominem or whatever, are also the first to deploy these kinds of logical fallacies in a conversation when they are met with an opponent that is delivering talking points that they can't effectively counter. That's what you do. It's like hack material, basically. It's like a life jacket for you. It's a life vest. You just immediately rip the fucking parachute cord and hit him with well, what about the Jews? What happened with the Aliyahs? As a matter of fact, Jews were expelled from all the Arab nations. It's like, okay, do you agree with that? I don't. Arab nationalism paired up with the legitimate fears that many people faced, that led to unjustifiable atrocities upon Jewish populations in many of these Arab countries, caused Jews to flee. Okay? Obviously, this was still very beneficial for the Israeli government. As a matter of fact, the Israeli government and Mossad did its own anti-Jewish terror in places like Iraq, specifically to get the Iraqi Jews to move to Israel instead of staying in Iraq. Avi Shlaim has covered this extensively. As a matter of fact, he's an Iraqi Jew living in Israel. He's an Israeli historian, also another one-stater. Shocking, I know. People that understand the history of Israel and have dedicated their whole lives to chronicling its violence are oftentimes not on October Eli's side, okay? Here's Time Without Ovo says, post-Freedom Flotilla, some of the worst stuff was lifted. Even then, the policy of separating the West Bank and Gaza persisted. For example, they stopped shit like furniture from going to Ramallah schools. Before 2012, though, Kogat literally calculated humanitarian minimums for food items and then let in less. The point is to make Gazans into a humanitarian problem for the world, so they're not a political problem for Israel. Yeah. You have to hand it to him for somehow being more irritating than Ben Shapiro. Yeah, I think it's even more arrogant, and somehow, and I don't even know how this is possible, but I don't understand how he is more anti-Islam and more Islamophobic than Ben Shapiro is even. I was misinformed and yapped too early. Hamas uses sugar for rocket fuel. I mean, he's hitting the Hamas uses sugar for rocket fuel button. Hamas uses cookies for rocket fuel.
Okay.
The blockade exists because they want to punish the civilian population in Gaza as a means of putting pressure on Hamas. They're saying as long as we have a government in Gaza that does not play ball with Israel the way the Palestinian Authority plays ball with Israel in the West Bank, the civilian population is going to...
Meanwhile, his subreddit is acting like he pulled off some masterful debating. Yeah, because they like him. It's not more complicated than that. They like him. They agree with him. They believe in might is right. They also believe that, Arabs and Muslims deserve less and are not real humans, and they're all like a monolithic force of evil on the planet. So no matter what happens, of course, they are going to cope and seethe and try to make it seem like he actually did a phenomenal job. They tried to say that about the debate, it was a dog walking really, against Norm Finkelstein, where Norm Finkelstein showed him what happens when you are up against someone who is very knowledgeable on the matter and is just as stubborn and also will be annoying back. The pattern of doing cope streams after losing a debate is so funny / cringe. Maybe he likes being dog walked. No, I don't think he likes it. Especially especially because like it's like a boxer, right? Ultimately, if you keep getting beaten down over and over again, right? At a certain point, if you're not good at boxing and your opponents are beating you up, inevitably your fan base is going to dwindle away. So he definitely will go back to tune-up fights over and over again. He does this all the time. He'll go to after the Norm Finkelstein thing, like his fan base immediately were like, don't look at the debate. Look at, I don't know, something that we found out about Norm Finkelstein from like 1987 or some shit. You know what I mean? And they were like trying to do character assassinations against Norm Finkelstein. That's when you know you've lost. You've completely lost, which it doesn't really matter because ultimately the broadest population saw all of the worst moments where he was getting fucking absolutely destroyed, to which they then turned their tactics on to, well, he was just calling him names. He was resorting to name calling, which means he lost. It's like, bro, Destiny is the #1 name caller of all time. What the fuck are we talking about?
To suffer as a means of putting pressure on them and getting somebody else to be in power. The evidence for that is overwhelming. Children's toys were not allowed in at the beginning of the blockade. And when Israel came under intense pressure after the flotilla incident, a bunch of activists tried to basically force medicines to be delivered into Gaza.
On the flotilla incident, they were...
Damn, you hate him? I don't want to. There was a point in time when we were friends. You know, it's embarrassing to admit, but there was a point in time where I thought that he was a former gamer word-saying libertarian who had turned into a truly progressive force, and I was wrong. Many of my oldest subscribers in this community also were duped in a similar capacity. But over the course of the past 5 years, he's had like a John Fetterman style change. Like, you know how John Fetterman went like really aggro on Israel? He went really aggro on the left across the board. But yeah, he does give me a lot of reason. He does. How are you not banned for being anti-Israel in Twitch? Wait, what? It's ridiculous. I wouldn't brag about that. Brag about what? The major reason as to why, like, there's a lot of misinformation out there from diehard fans who have made like videos, documentaries and whatnot, documenting everything in a very one-sided fashion that somehow tries to make Destiny look like the favorable party that was actually wronged. But the reality is, for me, I did the exact same thing with Destiny that I did with XQC and many other people, even Aiden Ross, all the way to the end. I tried as best as I could to just, you know, be normal and be cordial until it was just like impossible. You know what I mean? You will never hear about that, obviously, from his fan base because their resentment towards me is fueled by the resentment that he feels towards me as the greatest evil. I am the worst person. His community literally thinks I'm a worse person than Nick Fuentes. Straight up. If you were to ask many individuals in his community right now, they would say, I am a worse person than Nicholas Fuentes, an actual open neo-Nazi, a worse person than Lauren Southern. There's a lot of cognitive dissonance there as well. In every single point of contention. Like, people in his community legitimately think that, like, I told an adult black man to be offended by the N-word, or by his white podcast co-host at the time's defense of being able to say the N-word. Like, that Trihex could not have come to that conclusion on his own, that I, a white guy, actually convinced him that it was fucked up. I don't understand how they gauge who's good or bad. It's just entirely dependent on who he hates. If he loves someone, his community loves them. And if he turns on them and decides that they're an enemy, then his community fucking despises that person and will do everything they fucking can to constantly try to humiliate the other person I mean, it's not an accident that every single time that like Destiny's getting dog walked in public, his fan base immediately turns around and is like, yo, but remember how bad Hassan is. A friend of mine literally likes Nicolas Fuentes more because he's sincere and hates you because you're a grifter. That's what I mean. It's shit like that. Like, that's an insane thing to state. Anyway,
where 2 of 5 of the ships were empty, and they were aggressive ships that were designed to fight against the IDF when they landed. You realize that footage is available. There's 100 some people on the deck with chairs throwing Israeli soldiers overboard. And makeshift weapons and everything too.
Makeshift weapons. Wow.
Yes, I know. Well, that was all they could bring from Turkey with them, I guess, because they were inspecting the boats. But those were not peaceful activist ships. And if you read any of the reports, if you open more than a Finkelstein book and read what actually happened or watch any of the footage that actually happened,
were on that flotilla.
To be fair, I don't agree with this guy that the blockade's purpose is to punish Hamas. No, the blockade's purpose is to punish the Palestinians so they'll rise up against Hamas. It's the same. That's what he said. That's what Omar said, at least. It's the same principle behind like all these sanctions that America places on other countries around the world for the crime of, you know, going against America's foreign interests. That's it. The civilian population, yes, per Smotrich's words, Hamas is an asset. It has no international diplomatic recognition. So long as things don't explode, they can strengthen Hamas and weaken the PA to maintain their status quo, even though Hamas offered increasingly moderate long-term hudnas about 10 times since the 90s. Yeah. No, Israel does utilize Hamas being a designated terror group to their advantage. That's why Benjamin Netanyahu has openly stated his desires to make sure that Hamas is like the only negotiating partner in this process, because he can always control Hamas by violently going into the Gaza Strip. We control how high the fires go, is what he said. Why is he so embarrassed when saying that airships came prepared to fight the biggest navy in the Mediterranean, barring Turkey?
Were they part of the fighters, or what? Were they?
Listen to yourself.
Wait. Did he say that there were makeshift weapons coming in from Turkey? Is he talking about Mavi Marmara?
And makeshift weapons and everything too.
Makeshift weapons.
Wow. Yes, I know. Well, that was all they could bring from Turkey.
Spending your time reacting to D instead of addressing the sex pest allegations against you? Is this the new thing that we're doing now? We're just like fucking making shit up? That's nice, man. Thank you.
With them, I guess, because they were inspecting the boats. But those were not peaceful activist ships. And if you read any of the reports, if you open more than a Finkelstein book and read what actually happened or watch any of the footage that actually happened,
were on that flotilla.
Were they part of the fighters, or what? Were they?
Listen to yourself. Listen to
myself. What? You can watch the videos.
There were people who, yes, fought back when Israel boarded their ship in an act of piracy in international water.
Oh, he is defending Mavi Marmara. That's crazy. Okay. Mavi Marmara was a humanitarian flotilla ship. I'm just shocked that he even fucking knows what that is. And not only am I shocked that he knows what that is, I suspect that it's because I suspect that he's probably heard me talk about it. So he like and therefore he wanted to like find an adequate counter to it. Yeah, the weapons that they found, the makeshift weapons that they found on the ship were like cooking knives and shit. Like knives. That's it. There were no weapons on the ship. That's a lie. It was kitchen utensils.
Israel boarded the ship.
Because they don't want ships to get to Gaza.
There you go. Because there's a blockade, and because they announced you need to stop.
They don't get to impose that blockade.
They absolutely do.
No more than Hamas gets to impose a blockade on Israel. This is ridiculous. Of course they don't get to decide what ships get to go.
I want to reiterate it by the end here. He's saying that the block.
Yeah. So far, if we are keeping notes, Divorcelli has said. So far, we're keeping notes. Divorcelli has said cookies are valid as a blockade target because Hamas uses them to make cookie rockets. And now he's also stated that Israel perfectly was valid in going into the humanitarian flotilla, Mavi Marmara, and executing, like dropping commandos from a fucking gunship and executing, or not a gunship, from a helicopter, and executing every single humanitarian aid worker. And Israel's own defense for that was ridiculous, like universally ridiculous. People thought that that was insane. The boats, the weapons that they captured on the boat. Here, you want to see the makeshift weapons that they captured on the boat? A keffiyeh, one flag, and knives. Those were the weapons that they were sneaking in. Yeah, they killed 10 humanitarian aid workers and injured around, I think, 50. By the way, this was their intel. Like, this was their justification. Now, of course, if you live on this side of the world, if you're not Turkish, you're probably unfamiliar with this incident, because I don't think that there was a lot of coverage over this incident in the United States of America, because this happened a very long time ago, back when people didn't really question what the fuck Israel was doing in terms of like murking humanitarian aid workers. Just so you understand, this is what he is trying to defend here. Humanitarian aid workers trying to bring in humanitarian aid into Gaza. And this is the only thing Israel could find to justify why they killed 10 of the humanitarian aid workers. Also, maybe we would know for sure if, yes, you're right, the U.S. didn't block any attempts for an independent UN investigation. Israel should lead investigation into attack on Gaza flotilla, the U.S. says. So for the record, everything that the United States is currently doing in terms of running defense for Israel, they have been doing for many, many years. What a wild state of affairs that someone personally thinks that this is a defensible position. And the only reason why I think that defenders of Israel consider this to be a defensible position is because most people don't know what the truth is. That's why. But when you actually bring in facts to the conversation, and you bring in facts such as America routinely stopping an independent investigation from being launched into this unjustifiable attack against humanitarian aid workers, and the fact that Israel only found this as proof as to why they had to go in and kill a bunch of humanitarian aid workers, and how that was valid and moral, right? The entire history of Israeli cruelty against Palestinians and those who dare defend their humanity is littered with shit like this. Just an unimaginable use of force against people who are simply trying to survive. Always and forever. And this project only works when people are not paying attention. But because of the arrogance demonstrated by the ultra-Zionist, ultra-nationalist Israeli government, and the feeling of security that they have in terms of being able to control any kind of messaging that comes out of Israel through direct censorship, they've gone above and beyond in their cruelty, and now the world, especially, more importantly, the Western world, is taking notice. So this kind of stuff doesn't work anymore. That's the problem. The problem is Divorcelli is operating with Hasbara talking points from 2010 when we're in 2024. And the situation has dramatically changed.
They don't get to announce. They don't get to impose that blockade.
They absolutely do.
No more than Hamas gets to impose a blockade on Israel. This is ridiculous. Of course, they don't get to decide what ships get to go.
I want to reiterate by the end here. He's saying that the blockade exists because the Jews are evil.
No, he's saying they're intentionally.
That's a despicable thing to say.
Really?
I'm not saying anything about Jews. I'm talking about the Israeli government policy being absolutely horrendous.
Okay, I'm curious. In the second Intifada.
I'm sorry. I don't like the argument that you presented, which is why I've decided to put words in your mouth, because I think that that, in and of itself, will favor me. That's great. Why do people have this dumbass on their program? Because he's one of the only people that will go to the most despicable lengths to defend Israel this much. And as the overarching attitude changes dramatically against Israel, there are less and less people who will put their own personal reputation on the line to defend what is truly indefensible. We're talking about a dude who will defend the top of the hour ad break and say that at the top of the hour there is a 3-minute ad break and you shouldn't do anything against it. Even though there is something you can do against it, which is a $5 a month subscription or a free one in the form of a Twitch Prime. Or you can get gifted a sub if you're lucky. Really? Okay, I'm curious. In the Second Intifada is such a good example of how disingenuous the just asking questions chatter sound. Yeah. Here's a 3-minute ad break now. Miss Susie B, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Having a goatee without losing a bet in 2024 is crazy. Yeah. So he's openly Islamophobic. He's just a hypocritical piece of shit. Yeah. I mean, he has admitted as much. That is what it... I think that's definitely one of the major motivators here. Might is right politics and Islamophobia. Most defense of Israel can be reduced to unrestricted Islamophobia and might is right politics. And for those of you saying, I really don't get it, why does he defend Israel like this? I think you need to understand it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter. He's Islamophobic. Israel's killing a shitload of Muslims. He likes that. It's great opportunity for him to be contrarian. It's more so about the fight rather than what you're fighting for. And unfortunately for him, because it's so goddamn indefensible, despite the fact that there's a lot of motivation from people in positions of power to try to defend Israel to make this seem more permissible, he is looking worse and worse every time he appears on these sorts of programs to try and defend the unimaginably cruel actions of the Israeli state. I don't think that he has a personal investment in Israel and its continuation beyond the fact that it gives him a lot of opportunity to defend, to debate people. Did an Arab or Muslim Palestinian guy steal his girl? No. He's been cucked a million times over, chatters. Come on. I don't think he's got the smoke for every single group that has like cucked him over and over again. That's not the major role here. That's not the major motivation here. So I think that ultimately it's just, if he wasn't doing this, then he'd be defending CP or I don't know, incest or any number of different things, because that's all he does.
We're going to get you to feel emotions. Okay. Is this just who you are genetically, or are you running from something? This is not childhood stuff like trauma.
It's all sorted and done.
You figured it all out?
Yeah.
There's something about you that like sets people off in like a weird way. It's almost like uncanny valley level. I think it's a very strange thing for a person to say, I'm really grateful that my parents didn't have time for me.
I don't choose my family. Why would I feel some special fucking bond with them? Like, fuck that shit, dude. I don't know who chooses who the fuck I'm born with. Why the fuck would I value that connection? I don't believe in unconditional love. Like, I don't rely on it or give it to anybody. You know, if Nathan grew up to be like a serial rapist or some shit, I wouldn't fucking love him. Fuck that. Like, toss him to the fucking jail, leave him forever.
There's something incredibly visceral and emotional to people's responses to you. and I think they're picking up on something.
What people recognize, although they might not be able to articulate it, is that you're fundamentally nihilistic.
I think in every sense of the word, I'm a nihilist. I don't think that suffering has any intrinsic value. I don't think that humans or life has any intrinsic merit or value. I don't believe in any sort of objective, independently verifiable or discoverable morality or anything like that.
You're not trying to build anything. You're just trying to break things down. And I think that that's why people despise you.
You started to like treat yourself very independently. You started to treat people pretty transactionally.
He's saying that he gambles, like, with time. He's just like, oh, I think she will be good later. And then just like...
It's like an investment, yeah. I like Bitcoin. Crypto, Mel.
You can count on other people's self-interest.
Exactly,
But
yeah.
if you love them and they love you, that doesn't count for shit.
Yeah, 100%.
Makes sense, man.
Yeah.
Makes perfect sense. The reason that you don't feel emotions is because you essentially are suppressing.
This is what happens when you deep dive into philosophy. I don't think he is deep dove into philosophy. I think that him being a self-described egoist is just a self-serving way to say that, like, even if I'm hypocritical, it's ultimately for my own personal ends. It's a neat little way to close the loop. It's just trying to rationalize being a narcissistic sociopath who doesn't really care about anything. He's trying to debate lord a personality disorder or rationalize a personality disorder. And unfortunately, there are a lot of people who also think that this is cool. It's edgy and cool. Hassan is constantly lying to you. He's a fanatic, spreading misinformation and doing Hamas propaganda. See, if there weren't other people who also weren't into, yes, superficial philosophy, okay, and think that, like, he is, bravely defending things that they consider to be important to defend, like white people being able to say the N-word and stuff, he wouldn't have such, like, fanatic fan base, fanatic members of his fan base that take it to lengths that are unimaginable. Like, things that his fans have done for the past 5 years to this community, to members of this random community for the crime of, like, even fucking talking in here, okay, or anything like that. If they were truly well-adjusted individuals, I don't think that they would be doing this shit. They'd just be living their own fucking lives. But instead, they're out here fighting battles for their favorite content creator who doesn't know they exist, who will never really care about them. What is this?
I'm very disconnected from my own emotional experience.
What is your own emotional experience exactly?
Highly blunted, I guess.
When you get to that level of dehumanization, when you look at these people as less than human, like you can't put it in your mind that, oh my God, like these are still innocent fucking people getting killed.
You started to really like focus on being more like Cloud and these other like male role models who were like emotionally suppressing, and then you kind of became this self-reliant human being.
Thank you, May Poontang, for the tank of give to subs.
Why do you think everything is so transactional, homie?
You just said you didn't want to have that conversation. Why did you have it then?
Because he's my friend. And
so then you did want to have that conversation.
Emotional... Oh my God, dude. You are fucking awful, dude. Holy shit.
Like, if I made a joke that offended you and you communicated that to me, I would make a great effort as your friend to deter from doing that publicly and privately, and a genuine attempt to reform for the betterment of our friendship, because I like you.
This is from when he thought that I had told Trihex to be upset about him saying that he says the N-word in private all the time.
Your emotional interpretation of anything that happens is always yours to own. I can never tell you how you should or shouldn't feel about a particular thing.
A psychopath will gain short-term advantage at the cost of long-term relationship. For example, if you're disagreeable, like you are, by the way, your proclivity, if you went wrong, would be to go wrong in an antisocial and psychopathic.
I compared what his fans are trying to do to convert people into cult-like manners, like Mormons knocking at your door and telling you this guy's better. I don't care. Please stop trying to convert me. Yeah, I don't think that I don't think that people, like, I don't think his fan base understands that, like I'm sure that I have obviously parasocial fans. Of course I do, right? But for the past 5 years at least, like a part of the reason why I never weaponized my much larger fan base against him was specifically because I thought that there was nothing to gain out of that. Like, there's nothing to gain out of that. I think it's unproductive. It's unhelpful. I think he saw my my lack of interest in engaging as proof that he was right somehow, or that I was afraid of him. You know what I mean? I also found it to be just kind of gross, you know, rolling in the mud makes you, in that circumstance, no different than a pig. Any one of your fans who hate watch D like his fans do is shot too, to be honest. Exactly. Are his fans trying to convert via proselytizing D, or by belittling the views so others, so that you turn to D? I think it's more so, instead of, I mean, it's a bit of both. On the one hand, they, I'm sure, do plenty of work to try to make him look good. And on the other hand, it's mostly attacking his enemies to bring his interlocutors down, bring his enemies down to the best of their ability. Yeah. He saw your lack of engagement as a sign of his impotence. That's why he hates you, because you make him feel powerless. I think that's what it was. But the real reason, especially as of late, that I have that I no longer had a communication blockade was more so because of his unimaginable defense of Israel's genocide. Like, that was, you know, there have been so many instances where I could have cut drama videos about how much of a piece of shit he is and why he got banned 1,000,000 times over, whether it be his incredible defense of what's his face, the dude in Kenosha. I'm not, oh my god, I'm forgetting his fucking name now. Kyle Rittenhouse, thank you. Demanding that white supremacists drive their cars over BLM protesters. All of the fucking hours and hours of, like, his community hunting down basically trans content creators or anyone he has ever debated, no matter how small. So many different instances of toxicity, so many instances of his community, which I'm sure are currently watching, that open up new accounts on Twitter to literally just restream my stream and enjoy it, I guess. Only to go in and whenever you see a shit ton of people in here that are, like, saying the same things over and over again, and you're like, what the fuck's going on? It's usually because someone created, it's because one of his fans opened up a new Twitch account so they could restream my channel, and they're just in there watching, like a couple hundred of them at a time. It's very obsessed. It's, you know, cyber stalking. It's weird as hell. Yeah. They literally are like door-to-door salesmen. I see their comments on YouTube under any comment praising you. They'll be like, you should check out D. He's like a Samba better. Yeah.
Direction.
You have a track record for disrupting a lot of other people's lives.
Narcissism, Machiavellianism, that's manipulativeness. Psychopathy, that's predatory parasitism.
We're a bit Machiavellian, a bit psychopathic.
And those culminate in sadism.
Because he's your buddy too. You know?
Do you ever see his obsession ending? No. I don't. He spent years and years cultivating a fuck Hassan community. Like, that's his most consistent position. Literally. Every other issue he's gone back and forth on. But I generate a shit ton of revenue for him. And it doesn't matter what someone's, like, personal political background is. He has literally collaborated with Nazis. Straight up. Like, that's not even a secret. That's not a joke. He's had, like, pedophile Nazis on his stream, like Sam Hyde. Man obsessed. Yeah. To talk about how he wants to kill me and shit. You know what I mean? Like, there is no... there is no length he won't go to. So,
You
have to fire him. That's the worst part.
You treat him like a butler,
I mean, do you have memories of like when you were young and like times that you got upset?
I had a very strange relationship with my grandma. She had weird problems. She would buy a dog and she would like kill it in like a year. And she did this like 20 times. She did this to 2 dogs that me and my little sister were like very attached to. I remember obviously being incredibly upset when that happened because they were like the 2 dogs that I liked the most. But then after that, I kind of stopped caring so much about each individual dog because I knew that it had like a 12-month timer on it basically.
The shredder thing's really been hard.
Wait, how long? Oh wait, hold on. Careful. When I talk about animals, I get sociopathic, so I'm not even going to talk about this. Never mind. You should get a pet. I would have a pet. I think cats are really easy. Cats and dogs. Pets are good ways to build your social media feeds too. Cats are such an easy way to like make content.
Why do you think everything is so transactional?
And if you're disagreeable, the place you'll go if you go badly is in the psychopathic or antisocial direction. And there are environmental determinants of that to some degree. They are often betrayed.
She did this to 2 dogs that me and my little sister were like very attached to. I remember obviously being incredibly upset when that happened.
So I think the problem here is that when you are in a transactional relationship with someone who doesn't view relationships
it's
the same
very
way,
rough.
that person is going to have a tough time.
Of course, yeah.
So I just watched this and I was like, brother, what am I associating with?
I don't know if I can associate with you because it does seem disingenuous of me to be around someone who condones that kind of behavior. Like at this point, I'm just asking for like an ounce of empathy here.
Do you not think that I would want to reach episode 30 of Kick or Keep? I would have loved to
I don't know
reach
who the
episode
fuck
30.
this Caranthos guy is at all, and I don't want to know. Okay. But the other clip is from the podcast that he had with Trihex. He's a speedrunner, friend of the show, and a long-term content creator on Twitch, on this platform. The conversation that they're having right there came after Destiny openly stated his desires to keep saying that he says the N-word in private, to which many people tried to explain to him, myself included, that like that is a tacit admission and an endorsement of being able to say the N-word as a white guy. Even if you were to say it, you probably shouldn't say that you say the N-word publicly and defend it publicly. This led to the N-word manifesto. This led to their podcast falling apart and the podcast falling apart and then the N-word manifesto being written. Yes. And also that relationship falling apart, which he still to this day and his fans still to this day claim I was the reason why that relationship fell apart. Like an adult black man had to be told by another white person to be offended by his podcast co-host defending a white person's right to say the N-word. They also still say you agree with them on that point, which is literally untrue. I know, which is kind of crazy, but it goes into the cognitive dissonance demonstrated by his fan base, where they think that I agree with him on this front because he said that what if I were on the International Space Station in the vacuum of space? Do you think that me as a white guy saying the N-word in that hypothetical would have damaging consequences? To which I said, no, in that extreme hypothetical, it would not have damaging consequences. And his fans personally thought that that was a tacit endorsement of his position overall. Destiny also publicly still uses the N-word to this day. Obviously. So he's still fighting that brave battle. But of course, the reason why there's many especially online that love this shit personally. Many people love this shit online personally because they also need someone to contextualize and justify it. What is this? Oh.
You, because it does seem disingenuous of me to be around someone who condones that kind of behavior. Like at this point, I'm just asking for like an ounce of empathy here.
Do you not think that I would want to reach episode 30 of Kick or Keep? I would have loved to reach episode 30.
We've been doing the DT podcast now, and this will be, I think, episode 32. I've tiptoed in a lot of areas to make sure that I didn't like come off as inconsiderate as far as like our pending one on open versus closed relationships. I wanted to make sure, you know, that you were cool with it, because I had heard some memes about you were now in an open relationship and that maybe things aren't going so well.
He was like, just don't bring up my wife. Never spoke about her. Never. So I'm sat here thinking to myself, I'm respecting this, but that was not reciprocated whatsoever. I would have loved to get to next month where we would have been the 1 year anniversary of Kick or Keep.
She would like kill it in like a year.
We've been doing this now for over a year.
It had like a 12-month timer on it, basically.
I don't know, you kind of came back with something that made me feel a lot worse. It made me feel disposable.
So there's a predatory and parasitical element to psychopathy that's not there in other addictive short-term processes.
The problem here is that when you are in a transactional relationship with someone who doesn't view relationships the
it's
same
very
way,
rough.
that
Yeah,
person is going to have a tough time.
of course. Yeah.
I've had a pretty terrible weekend. I had a pretty awful time. I haven't really been in the mood to stream.
My streaming output has been low. My passion towards streaming has been low. My energy has been low. Because genuinely, this shit was sitting heavy on my heart.
I don't know, dude. I don't know. I guess I don't really have much more I can say at this point. So
good luck, man. Bye.
So, Destiny, I'm going to kind of give you, and maybe you've sort of figured out my punchline. So I think that early on, you experienced a lot of emotions like a kid normally would. Your emotional needs were probably not met. Somewhere along the way, you probably had, and you remember some things, you don't remember others. But I think the grandmother example is a prime example. You learned the very important lesson that emotions are a fucking waste of time. Like, you buried that the second time that dog died. Like, those parts of your brain are active, but emotionally, you sort of don't have that. It's like buried.
The one black person who tried.
It's like how they say you claim you're just white using a clip where you say I'm white, then cut as you continue. But lots of people see me as Muslim when they learn my name, ignoring the other 50% of his replies saying it's stupid to call a Turk white. Yeah. If you're just motivated by fucking pure resentment and anger, you can, and especially if you consider me to be like true evil, ontologically evil, and any matter of hatred or cyber stalking or character assassination with clips out of context is justifiable in that regard, because you're ultimately taking down someone who is truly evil,
to appeal to your humanity. This is supposed to be your man's. This is supposed to be your friend. Now, regardless, okay, you're right. I don't know you, but this dude does know you. This is supposed to be your people. If you treat your own people like that, God, who else do you treat like that? But you have no empathy, clearly, and you have.
This is, again, I think this is from the time when he was like trying to debate, saying that
no sense of human emotion.
What are you talking about, D, that brought us up? Someone said this maybe explains what his major motivation is for why he's defending Israel, but I don't think so. Like I said, I think it just comes from the fact that he loves debating, and he is pretty decent at it, especially against people, especially on like issues that require someone to talk about really awful shit. Like if it's an issue that is very emotional, very passionate, he can argue on either side of it. This is how he makes his money. This is how he makes a living. It's like a debate mercenary. My ex was obsessed with Destiny and would just bring you up for no reason all the time. Did you see what Hassan said? No help. Yeah. You literally just read the Wikipedia every debate. It's not just about going to Wikipedia and reading a Wikipedia. It's about assuming a position before having like all of the information readily available. It's about making post hoc rationalizations after you have made your position be known in a really extreme way in most instances, because he loves being edgy. That's usually how it works. Why the fuck is Miskiv calling me?
Were submersibles or weapons brought in via that via the water into the Gaza Strip? Did that happen?
What are you talking? Say that one more time.
Were there weapons that were shipped into the Gaza Strip via the Mediterranean?
And plenty of weapons were shipped into Israel as well.
Oh, that's interesting.
it is
So
interesting,
there were things.
You
Wait,
think
wait.
one
So do you
side
think the
gets to dominate
blockade?
the other?
Why is it that Egypt has been a partner with Israel in that blockade since its inception as well?
I've already explained to you why the Egyptian government is interested in restricting
because for
any
20
kind of
years
empowerment
they've just been
for
an
Hamas.
evil.
Yes.
Okay. Everybody is a. This is consistent at least with the history that everybody is collaborators with the West and
governments that are transparently collaborating with the West
has hypnotized the world. Even the Egyptian dictators or everybody. Yes.
Who else are they collaborating? I just want to say something. I just honestly, there's one thing that I think is really, really important.
Okay.
This, just saying the Jews are evil. It's such a despicable line, and let me explain why. Anti-Semitism is a very, very serious and rising problem in the country, in many other places around the world, and especially in the Trump years. We've seen these shootings that have happened at synagogues and everything like that.
Oh,
not in the Middle East.
He's doing is he doing a stream? He said, just wanted to see if you were my friend on stream. Okay, dude.
And you have a situation in which Israel's defenders constantly try to conflate those things, is that you ignore the fact that there is a significant portion of the progressive young American Jewish population that is opposed to Israeli policies. And every time you criticize Israeli policy, people say, oh, you're attacking Jews. And that's exactly what you just did. And it's not just harmful to people like me who get smeared by that accusation, completely baseless and really ugly and detestable.
It's probably more
but
true
it's
than
also,
we know, I think. But yeah.
That's
Of Omar?
Thank you.
Probably, yeah, I
thank
think
you for that wonderful section.
Wait, what did he
Defenders
say?
Constantly try to conflate those things, is that you ignore the fact that there is a significant portion of the progressive young American Jewish population that is opposed to Israeli policies. And every time you criticize Israeli policy, people say, oh, you're attacking Jews. And that's exactly what you just did. And it's not just harmful to people like me who get smeared by that accusation, completely baseless and really ugly and detestable.
It's probably more
but
true
it's
than
also,
we know, I think. But yeah.
That's, yeah.
Of Omar?
Probably more true than we know, I think. Like, how are you going to fucking turn around and double down and be like, no, you are anti-Semitic, actually? That's crazy.
Omar?
Thank you.
Probably, yeah, I think
Thank you for that wonderful speculation. But it's also actually harmful to Jewish communities themselves that are trying to protect themselves from anti-Semitism, to constantly trivialize that charge, that you throw it around at anybody who is critical of Israeli policy, anybody who thinks that Palestinians are human beings who deserve to have rights. You water that charge down so much when you let it around that real anti-Semites get more room to breathe and operate, because that charge doesn't mean anything. So even if you enjoy smearing people like me and people who defend Palestinians, that's fine. But if you have any part of you that actually cares about Jewish people in this country, I would strongly advise you to stop throwing that smear around at people. Because
Okay, I'll do my virtue signal since you did yours.
They hit him with the benzos that make you Turkish. He does look so Turkish, dude. He does. I don't know what the fuck. I mean, I'm sure that this is Photoshop, right? Why does he express himself like a fucking child? Does he think the entire world is internet? Yeah, it's because it plays well to his audience. That's the whole point. It's just like being an edgy fucking shithead, being an edgy nihilistic shithead in every conversation is seen as like a strength for many people who are simply invested in, toxic debate culture. Look at the original pig. It's not edited. No way. Are you serious? No, this is not a real fucking no. That's a troll account. You get tired talking about him? Yes, I wish I never had to ever again. No, it's not real. It's not real. There's no way this is a real photo. Okay. Let's get back to I'm going to skip the body camera footage, but let's talk about the UCLA protesters doubling down.
Law enforcement in riot gear bring an end to a week-long protest at UCLA. Using flashbangs and zip ties, protesters detained one by one. After a 9-hour-long standoff, more than 200 arrested.
Free Palestine! If I'm free, then what does that mean if my brothers and sisters in Palestine aren't free?
To just free Palestine, that's why we're all here. And this is an attack on democratic rights. This is outrageous.
And following the early morning raid, daylight revealed the damage left behind. Welcome to the Fox 11 News at 5 o'clock now, simulcast on our sister station, Fox 11 Plus. I'm Marla Tejas. Alex Michelson is on assignment.
And I'm Christine Devine. A drastic difference on the UCLA campus from yesterday to today. Here's the latest on the encampment raid early this morning. Just before 3 a.m., Hundreds of law enforcement breached and dismantled the pro-Palestine encampment at UCLA. But an hour later, the area was cleared. More than 200 people were arrested. They're likely looking at only misdemeanor cases, according to the LA DA, George Gascon.
And just moments ago, UCLA's chancellor spoke publicly for the first time since this entire ordeal began. We have team coverage tonight. Fox 11's Susan Hirasuna will show us the cleanup efforts on campus.
We begin with Matthew Seedorf, who has those new details from the chancellor and some of the arrested protesters. Matthew.
Yeah, Christine, the chancellor says that he wanted to give students a chance to express themselves, raise their voices, kind of following the model as Cal Berkeley. But after the violence on Tuesday, he says they changed their mind. Here he is just moments ago.
It was clear by yesterday that no solution was really possible, that we couldn't come to any kind of compromise. And our feeling was at this point that the encampment simply had to be removed, and the students were told they'd have to vacate, and they could vacate freely, and they could leave without any, without any impact on them. But unfortunately, we had to call in the police. Very few students, actually, some left immediately. When the police arrived, many of the students.
Yeah. You don't understand. We peacefully told them to fuck off, dude, and that we would beat the shit out of them if they didn't. What's the problem? We wanted them to shut the fuck up, so we told them shut the fuck up and leave, or we'll come in and beat the shit out of you, like the Zionist counterprotesters did the night prior. And some of them did listen, and many didn't, so we beat the shit out of them. I don't get it.
Students that were in the encampment and others left, but there was a residual group that didn't leave, that resisted. Some resisted.
Yeah, it's perfectly reasonable to just beat the shit out of our own students using the Los Angeles Police Department and the Los Angeles Sheriff's Department. Like, how are we living in a country where that's like seen as even remotely reasonable according to the fucking latest polls,
Police action to remove them, and it led to a number of arrests.
Interesting to hear them explaining their thought process through this for the first time, but very different here from what we've been seeing throughout this last week. Now we're hearing from those arrested for the first time.
Yeah, LAPD website has been hacked and taken down, I heard.
Pro-Palestinian campaign
Fox News speaks to Benjamin Kirsten, a Jewish UCLA student who was part of the pro-Palestinian protest. John Roberts, a lot of people are asking why a Jewish student would be doing that. Can you explain?
Ben Kirsten is a student at UCLA.
That's crazy. What the fuck is going on? What time is this at? 12:25 CT? I mean, it's a part of the morning broadcast,
Jewish,
so it's...
But he sides with the pro-Palestinian protesters. Ben, thank you for being with us. You were in the protest camp, and a lot of people might wonder why you're with the protesters.
Do you mind?
I mean, the reality is a lot of people in the Fox News audience might wonder that, but if people have a sense of what is going on, they wouldn't be wondering at all. It's just like, it's not remotely surprising to me. I don't think that Jews are monolithic in their opinion on Israel. But, I am anti-Semite of the fucking week after all, a couple weeks prior, so it's a very normal reaction to be like, hey, that foreign country that is currently claiming that they're doing this for me and my people and my religion is actually doing unconscionable things, and I think that that's fucked up, is a pretty sane and pretty valid response.
Repeating that question one more time.
Sorry, yeah, it sounded like it was a little bit noisy. I said, you were in the protest camp. You were siding with the protesters, and a lot of people were wondering why a Jewish student would be doing that. Can you explain?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for this question.
Yeah.
I'm delighted to be with you as a member of Jewish Voice for Peace at UCLA, which is an organization that is grounded in the values of justice, equality, and dignity for all. Mm-hmm. As an organization, We believe that
My goat.
Zionism
My
was
king.
a failed answer to very
My
real
goat.
questions of Jewish safety.
It's so awesome. It really is dope. I mean, it's added benefit that so many on the pro-Palestinian side are so disciplined in their messaging and look so fucking cool. I love that. I love that so much. Especially because like optics do matter to those who are uninitiated. Optics do matter to those who are
on everything from gun safety to climate change.
Biden awards Presidential Medal of Freedom to Michael Bloomberg. What the fuck? Gross. Here's a guy who definitely agrees with his methods of policing. The guy he's giving a Medal of Freedom to, by the way, the guy he's giving a Medal of Freedom to justified stop and frisk with the most racist possible ways to justify stop and frisk, which was a racist police practice anyway. That's crazy. Guy who was the architect of the crime bill, one of the most devastating bills that criminalized black existence, giving a fucking Medal of Freedom to the guy who continued that white supremacist grossness in New York when he was mayor, and defended it by saying, well, black people are the ones who are violent. Of course we're going to stop and frisk them. That's awesome. Anyway, going back to this cool thing instead of this not so cool thing. Okay, Onion made a video about it. That's funny. We'll look at that in a second. Going back to this cool thing, what I was saying is like, optics do matter to those who are uninitiated. Optics do matter to those who are on the outside looking in. That's why I always stress the importance of putting your best foot forward when talking about Palestine, when talking about Palestinian issues. If you want to be good, if you want to actually be productive, I try to do that as well to the best of my ability. And yet people still smear you no matter what. And I'm shocked that Fox News, even in their morning program, would have a Jewish Voice for Peace student. What? Yikes. Cut off the breaking points debate in a very disingenuous place. Convenient. Wait, there's more to the fucking breaking points debate? I apologize, chatter, that we've moved on to things that actually matter. I like that you think that I watched this debate ahead of time, saw the worst part of the debate, and cleverly and with mischief showed the worst part of the debate, which I guess you also recognize was not looking too good for him. I'm glad we both agree that his performance in the 7 minutes that I saw, which I assume you think is out of context, even a 7-minute clip is out of context at this point, was actually, was definitely not looking too good for him. I swear to God, if you were as good as a manipulator and mastermind as your haters make you out to be, there'd be global communism already. Yeah. Anyway, so as I was trying to state, it's important to have good optics in this situation, and these guys certainly have it. They'll still be lied about, or oftentimes vilified, or rarely ever get any kind of opportunity to speak their truth in mainstream media. So it's interesting.
And I, as an individual, I don't believe that this safety should have come at the expense of Palestinians who have faced over 7 decades of ethnic cleansing, and of course the most recent round of violence that's led to 35,000 Palestinians dead, 1.9 million displaced, imminent starvation.
Right.
These are the here. That's what brings me to this movement.
Gotcha. So where do you are in support of people who are saying that the violence against Palestinians in Gaza is wrong. Where do you come down on October 7th and the violence against Israelis that was perpetrated by Hamas?
Yeah, absolutely. My heart breaks for everyone that's been affected by this violence. That goes for Israelis and Palestinians. And at the same time, I believe that one war crime does not justify other war crimes. As a person in the United States, I see my government backing one party to this conflict and providing weapons and funding and political cover. And so I believe my role is to address my own complicity and the complicity of the government under which I am a citizen.
President Biden spoke about this a little while ago in terms of, he talked about violence, he talked about free speech. He also...
Is there more?
Police.
Oh.
Ben Kirsten is a student at UCLA. He's
no, this is the same.
Own complicity and the complicity of the government.
Go in terms of, he talked about violence, he talked about free speech. He also talked about the anti-Semitism that we see being fomented on some college campuses across the country. Listen to what the president said a short time ago.
Jesus, that dude won the genetic lottery? No, man, he's just a good person. And when you're a good person and you advocate for good causes, it clears up your skin. You become more physically attractive to everybody else. That's how it works. Not that like physical attraction matters in this circumstance, but that's why he has this aura to him, okay? Because he's a good person. That simple.
There should be no place on any campus, no place in America for anti-Semitism or threats of violence against Jewish students.
Now that's bull. No, man, it's not bullshit. Many of you are just insecure. Okay? That's all this is. You think you're unattractive, but you actually are. Okay? You are. Everyone is attractive to somebody. Many of you think you're not, but you actually are, and you lack the confidence to recognize that, especially if you are, on the right side of history, okay? What do I always say? Yes, every man can be a 7. Every man can be a 7. Everybody can be a 7, and 7 is fucking awesome. You once said anyone could be a 7 and it changed my life? Absolutely. Yeah. Go to the gym, be a kind individual. I mean, dude, come on. You guys saw a person unconditionally defending Israel's genocide.
Evil.
It goes to the same point that I was making earlier, okay? Sure, he could be a 7 too. When you defend ugly actions, it just shows,
There is no place for hate speech or violence of any kind, whether it's anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, or discrimination against Arab Americans or Palestinian Americans.
So, Ben, you have been in there amongst the protesters. Have you witnessed any anti-Semitism? Have you witnessed support for Hamas?
In my experience, I have not. And I would say that this is a place where President Biden and I agree. I think there is no place for anti-Semitism. And one of my values as part of this movement is a commitment to Jews and Jewish communities. I respect the feelings of others when they feel that this is something that when they feel that they've experienced anti-Semitism. And what I think means is that we need to deal much more critically and rigorously with the problem of anti-Semitism because it is a real problem. And yet we need to be able to distinguish between, say, a protest chant or something that makes us uncomfortable and maybe even conflicts with things that we've been taught from a very young age, and material violence, hatred. So while that's not my experience, I respect that there are feelings that others have, and I would say that as part of this movement, I can attest that there are, I feel welcome not just as an organizer, but also as a Jewish person. We made Jewish programming a regular part of the encampment, and I think it was a really beautiful space for learning and community building.
So just really quickly before you go, and I hope that you can hear me, what do you say to
phenomenal.
encampment, and I think it was a really beautiful space for learning and community building.
So just really quickly before you go, and I hope that you can hear me, what do you say to the, and we've talked to plenty of them, Jewish students?
I think this is having this dude be the guy who talks to Fox News. I think part of that actually comes from the fact that they just can't get anyone to speak on camera from the pro-Palestinian encampment unless they are a media liaison, which is, again, demonstrating phenomenal messaging discipline, demonstrating incredible organizing right there. The fact that you can have so many college students there and you literally are like, no, this is the person that's going to speak is great. The fact that they're doing that voluntarily, the fact that they're able to organize in this regard, in this way, and people voluntarily say, yeah, no, I'm not going to be answering questions. Thank you very much. You can go to the media liaison for this kind of thing, is forcing the media's hand into having to talk to people that are phenomenal representatives of the movement, of the student encampment. It's great. I have seen so many progressive movements over the course of the past 10 years of my coverage and support to said progressive movements fall apart in the media machine. They have a very deliberate tactic in the media. They go for whoever they can who is going to speak in a way that is not very educated or come across unhinged. They try to emotionally pick apart your argument and try to get you to react in a way that's angry, right? Just so they can say, look, see, this person represents the entire movement and it's bad. Yeah, the r/anti-work moderator that Jesse Waters had on stream comes to mind, right? It's just a way to just completely fucking belittle anything and everything that a movement represents by portraying everyone as like silly. It's perfectly normal to come across silly and emotional, especially if you're not like trained, especially if you're not ready to go up against a media professional who's been doing this for fucking as long as this kid has been alive. You know what I mean? That guy is a professional a commentator, a journalist, and has a long career of doing exactly this. So proud of these guys, man. I'm very proud of the student organizers and the fact that they just refuse to speak to the media randomly, causing them to have to go to the proper channels. Mr. Hamas Piker, king of grifters, alhamdulillah. Hey, Hassan, ever considered not being a piece of shit grifter? If you can explain to me why I am a grifter and somehow go against the values that I defend without mentioning the top of the hour ad break because it's 10 minutes in yet. Okay. Did you get promoted? I am the king of grifters. Yeah. He unfollowed. He can't even type. Shit. I was going to say I'll gift 100 gifted subs. Wait, he can. He's a subscriber. Go ahead. I'll gift 100 gifted subs if you can explain to me how I am a grifter, what you think a grifter is, and how I am a grifter. Be quite nice. Low-key, they should switch dresses. Copium, Norwegian national outfit. Iniquitous Prime, thank you for the 10 gifted subs, allowing 10 people to no longer see the ads at the top of the hour. What the fuck is this? Her Piker Kandu Sluta Aliga Loki Forbana Irritande Pogo. More October 7 leavers are coming back in. Yeah, I already covered. I already retweeted this. I saw this. Better Hassan, Mehdi Hassan says, Omar patiently lays out the history of the Gaza blockade, what items, cookies, are banned by Israel, and why it's illegal under international law. To which bargain basement Ben Shapiro below responds, he's saying the blockade exists because the Jews are evil, beyond desperate. Bargain basement Ben Shapiro. That's what I called him in 2016. Or not 2016, 2019. I wasn't on Twitch in 2016. I didn't know any of these things. The community notes on that. Destiny is correct. Both sugar and fertilizer were used in earlier iterations of the Qassam rocket. Wikipedia.org/wiki/Qassam rocket. Yes, dude. They were fucking using cookies and turning it into fuel for Qassam rockets, which I guess Israel didn't really care about later when they allowed a summary of this week in America. Is this guy going to come back with some, or is he just, he doesn't want 100 people to no longer see his solution to where the Palestinians should go? He doesn't want 100 people to get gifted subs, chat. Sorry. Here's the 3-minute ad break now for all of you, regardless. Yeah, he dined and dashed without chirping. This is funny because this is a hilarious collection of flags that you can see in one other place. Okay, you can see it in America, the Purgatorio. Thank you for the 10 gifted subs. And the only other place that you can see this collection of flags, maybe not the only other way, but only other place, but another place where you can see these two flags is Northern Ireland. Historically on the wrong side of every issue, okay? That's right. Reactionary has no consistency. No, this is consistent. I think this is consistent. They're reactionaries. They're consistent. Consistently fascist. Consistently on the wrong side of history. That's the whole point. It is very consistent. Something tells me right-wing Southerners aren't honestly pro-Israel as they present. Petition aims to erase Jewish rebels' name from the park. Jesus Christ. I think some chatters think Northern Ireland and Ireland are the same thing. I'm not even kidding. Good. It will be one day. Okay? Listen. Inshallah, soon, my friend. We will see a united Ireland in my lifetime. All right, this guy's got nothing. We're ending that. What is this?
Palestinian, what would you do if you lived in
Probably go south to the whatever the beach was. I wish I had the name of it right now. But there's been one singularly declared safe area, and it's that beach.
How many Palestinians do you want to crowd into that, whatever that small beach
I guess
is?
at 1 point, however many million.
How many bathrooms are there? How much water is there?
And
it's
better than getting blown up by a bomb. If you want the war to stop, how about just have Hamas leave and release the hostages?
Or Israel could just stop bombing Gaza.
Why would Israel stop attacking an enemy that committed the largest terror attack per capita in the history of the entire country?
It's a ridiculous double.
Just go to the beach, bro. Come on. You're a grifter. What is this even? What? Cuck rage. Impotent cuck rage.
Wait, hold on. You think it's reasonable to tell Israel, hey, Hamas, I know that you guys did a little bit of a large terrorism against us and have been, by the way, which is a violation of international law, indiscriminately launching rockets for decades from this law. And every single one of those is a violation of international law because those are by definition indiscriminate, which by definition fail the distinction principle that.
This is why I'm an advocate, as I'm sure he is as well, to offer all the Palestinian resistance groups the targeting capabilities in airfield and air force and drones so they don't have to indiscriminately fire rockets into Israel and instead target specific military locations and blow them up. We should be giving the Palestinians Mark 84s, I think, so that they don't violate international law and end up you know, doing what Israel's doing, which is the most moral army. They could even do roof knocking. When they want to take down like Israeli civilian infrastructure, they could do roof knocking beforehand. Think about that. Would that be cool? Hand over the population registry of the entire Israeli population to Hamas, give them unlimited American military support, U.S. intelligence, so that they can be just as moral as Israel. I don't understand. Are you advocating? You are advocating for more violence? Yikes. Wait, I'm sorry. If you are defending the principles behind Israel's actions, then what I'm saying should not come as a scary moment, but instead a moment of reflection, I guess, for you, maybe. I know you're an intelligent person. I can see that anytime you say anything logical, your viewers instantly backlash at you. I understand that you are stuck at supporting Hamas. Your will just to appease deranged people in your streams. Heil Porsche. Wait, what? If you understand that anytime I say something logical, my viewers instantly backlash at me, then you must recognize personally that I routinely yell at my viewers when they say something that I don't agree with, and will defend it in the most stubborn ways possible. Perhaps that is the reason why you understand that I believe that Israel is mainly at fault here for the violent resistance that it has cultivated. It's not because I have audience capture or whatever you think it is. If I was audience captured, then I wouldn't be advocating for truly unpopular positions especially when you consider the broader American sentiment on everything that I advocate for, especially as it pertains to American State Department interests. That's why the grifter accusations ring hollow usually, because if I was grifting, then I can be a liberal MSNBC style commentator. I like to think that I'm attractive enough. You know, I'm not the most attractive person, but certainly attractive enough. I like to think that I'm at least like somewhat creative and charismatic enough that I could make it in and enjoy much greater celebration from mainstream media. I'm Russian. I know Russian propaganda is pushing pro-Palestinian movement in the U.S. purely to create instability. Yeah, that's true. I am actually getting my FSB paycheck for the past 10 years, even before. I'm a Russian agent, famously. How about them another dog whistle? Yeah. What's up with the Heil Porsche thing? It's a very interesting name. What's going on there? Who cares, dude?
It is essential to law of armed conflict.
Yeah,
one of the three prongs. Wait. So you're saying that Israel needs to allow Hamas to stay there, who's been breaking international law of armed conflict for 20 years?
As opposed to Hamas allowing the Israeli government to stay there when they're breaking international law for even longer than that.
And I want to put a fine point on that.
Seriously, honestly, I want to get an answer to that. Why is it that you think that the Israeli government, having committed all the atrocities that they committed...
Because the Israeli government is a democracy that can be reasoned with. Their neighbors have reasoned with them. People have signed peace agreements and people have reached agreements with them.
Damn, dude, I can't believe that other countries that are also within the orbit of American interest have signed peace negotiations or agreements with Israel. Yeah, Israel can be reasoned with, like, you know, when they very reasonably invaded Lebanon and reduced entire cities into rubble. That was super reasonable. Or how they're doing that very same thing in Gaza. It's so reasonable that every time Biden's like, there's going to be a two-state solution, Jack. Remember, we're giving you guys unlimited weapons, please. Netanyahu the next morning will be like, yeah, fuck off. No two-state solution. Suck my dick, Joe Brandon. Yeah. This democracy is going to ban Al Jazeera this Sunday. To which he would say, Al Jazeera, that sounds scary, like a terrorist operation. Why should Israel allow a terrorist channel to continue? He argues almost as vociferously as like the most rabid ultra-Zionist. It is actually kind of shocking. But I guess it's not so shocking when you think about it, because like the major motivator here would be Islamophobia. So as long as you're that Islamophobic, you will be able to find the talking points to justify your unhinged framework.
Palestinians have not. And there's a reason, by the way, which you will never recognize, why all of the surrounding Arab states have abandoned the Palestinians too, because their history has been one of violence, that first they've been encouraged by the surrounding nations and used by them, and then now they've been abandoned once the other nations have used them
That's
up.
a racist anti-Palestinian
Racist? What happened in the 70s? Why did the Palestinians get kicked out of Jordan in the 70s?
That chatter was not Russian, by the way. They are in the comments of a Gore video from a year ago titled "Ukrainian frag Russians hiding in trench lines, screams heard after," commenting "orc sounds lol." Huh.
He assassinated the Jordanian king in 52 in Jerusalem. Why did the Palestinians get kicked out of Lebanon? Why doesn't Egypt want to work with the Palestinians?
Do you believe he's a racist, Omar?
Yes.
When he talks about Palestinians, nobody likes them and nobody wants them and nobody whatever. Yes, absolutely, that's a racist description.
Why do they?
I don't like. Let me be clear. This distinction between like there's a category of people who are racist, a category of people who are not. I think that's a simplistic thing.
Right.
What he just described is a racist stereotype. There's absolutely no question about it.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. Nobody wants Palestinians who are monolithically operating in violent ways and must be dealt with through more violence, like infinitely more violence that they could ever cultivate, is just pure unrestricted racism. I mean, what are we talking about here? The fact that that's even an arguable position is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Like, yeah, Arabs can't be reasoned with. They're just too violent. We have to fucking deal with them. This specific group of Arabs, which also, these Arabs are Arabs. Why don't they go to other Arab countries again?
I'm not.
Fact,
I don't want to.
Sorry,
I don't want to get into who he
is. It
is
is to a lot of people that are pro-Palestinian. I understand. The history is like the most traumatizing.
If you don't
part.
understand that the Egyptian dictatorship is collaborating with Israel to suppress anything that is Muslim Brotherhood affiliated, and that's why the reason they're collaborating against Gaza.
Was Nasser collaborating with the Israeli government when they locked all the Gazans in the Gaza Strip and didn't let any of them leave?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Steve, you do this thing constantly where you bring up random anecdotes that are completely irrelevant to anything that what I'm to.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. The reason why that wasn't random is because you applied today that the dictatorship in Egypt. First of all, you said dictatorship, very loaded. Yes, Egypt's had a history of dictatorships. You're implying that they're collaborating with Israel.
This current dictatorship is definitely collaborating with Israel.
Unique way. You're acting like they're collaborating with Israel in a unique way. And even from 48 to 67, when Egypt had control of the Gaza Strip, the Palestinians were still locked in that Gaza Strip.
Let's be clear about.
Just kidding. It wasn't random. I just brought that up for a particular reason.
Let me be clear about something. Right now, this
doesn't that go against the whole narrative that like Arabs are monolithic? Why won't the Palestinians go to any other Arab conversation, which is a talking point that he also routinely deploys? Like, doesn't that directly go against that sentiment? He's got to figure it out. Is it all Arabs? Is it all Arabs, or is it just the Palestinians that are like the violent, rabid dogs? I guess it's interchangeable. He's using the same arguments Hitler used. Yes, it is very Hitlerian.
Rhetoric. I'm going to let it go for now. The idea is looking at all the surrounding Arab governments who are collaborating with Israel, it's a sign that they hate Palestinians. When you do opinion polling in any of these countries, all of them, including in Saudi Arabia, the overwhelming majority of the population wants to cut off any talk. They want to isolate Israel diplomatically. They don't want to deal with them. The people of the region absolutely oppose what Israel is doing to Palestinians. And the fact that you can cite a handful of governments in the surrounding area who all effectively belong to the US orbit and operate under and get tremendous privilege and financial privilege and security privilege for collaborating with the United States, and to try to paint that as some sort of validation that they have anti-Palestinian sentiment, I think is completely ridiculous and ignorant of the dynamics that actually exist in the region, a region that I grew up in, by the way. What you have, I grew up in Kuwait, Jordan, Yemen, Oman, and the United Arab Emirates, and I visited Palestine on multiple occasions.
Gotcha. Wait, you grew up in Kuwait in what years? Was that when Arafat was supporting Saddam Hussein expelling?
I was born in Kuwait in 1982, and I lived there until that war. Okay. And yes, when Arafat made statements in support of Saddam Hussein, that became the reason why many Palestinians could not go back to Kuwait.
Yeah, which was a really big deal too, which is also funny because those Oslo Accords, we point to Israel not being a good partner for peace. Wait,
why is that Why is that a fucking own? Wait, what? Bro, what the fuck? That is... Wait, why is that funny to him?
The reason why those Oslo Accords were so horrible is because Arafat was desperately looking for a way back into Palestinian popularity after supporting Saddam Hussein when he expelled.
Speaking of Oslo, yes, and you know what was also happening, and the reason why Oslo happened is because while Arafat was looking for a way to get validation as the leader of Palestinians and come back, Israel was dealing with the fact that there is a Palestinian uprising, the first Intifada, overwhelmingly non-violent, in which Palestinians were doing civil disobedience, sometimes throwing rocks at soldiers, and Israel was brutalizing them for year after year. After they killed so many of them, that the Israeli officials started being concerned about the optics of it. So they said, don't kill them, beat them up and break their arms instead. And what you ended up with...
I'm so curious.
And what you ended up with...
I'm so...
That was Yitzhak. That was... not Yitzhak. It was, right? Yitzhak Rabin? Now, did he say that just now? The Mr. Peaceful... No, it wasn't Ariel Sharon. It was Yitzhak Rabin. The architect of the peace negotiations, or the starter of the peace process specifically, who was literally assassinated for that crime. He was in charge of interior security at the time and said, break their bones, to which they were talking about children. They were breaking children's hands. Thousands of children's hands were broken deliberately so that they would no longer be able to throw rocks.
Damn, this guy's good.